Hello, hello, hello. I am so glad that you're here, and I'm really excited about sharing some of this information with you. Woo! Getting started. That is always the hardest part. Do you resonate with that? I want to walk you through today exactly how I've learned to make money for my clients and for myself while still finding alignment with my spiritual values and with my longing and desire to really help people at an emotional and spiritual level. So before we do that, maybe let's get the energy right. I want to make sure that you're the right person for this type of group. So I'm Jon Ray. I'm a spiritual business consultant. Used to work for Google, and we'll get into my story in a bit. But I'm just going to play with a couple of items here, so that you know that you're in good company, or maybe this just isn't for you. So some of my spirit animals that I've got here, we've got Smokey. He's a Smoky Quartz crystal skull. Keep this here on the desk. And the reason that I'm showing some of these things is this presentation is for people who are metaphysically and spiritually minded, whatever that means to you. For me, it's definitely an emotional experience, but I like to try things. So this is for people who maybe are experimenting with sage, or you know the difference between sage and Palo Alto. Maybe you're walking around with one of these, a rose quartz crystal bottle and with some shungite in the bottom of it. Maybe you're into supplementation right now. This is pure nano gold, and it's a way to bring about mental clarity. Also, some wacky dreams. Maybe you're interested in how the world around you is showing you where the opportunity for your spiritual upgrade is, and you're into learning the emotional impact of some of the ailments and diseases that you have, or the frustrations in your business and what those are pointing to, the spiritual lesson that those are pointing to. Maybe you're into frequency, and you've got one of these cool things, and you're just looking for ways to build spiritual leverage, or to make things easier for yourself. And maybe you have a consulting business, or a real estate firm, or a massage therapy practice, or a yoga studio. Maybe you're hoarding silver, or looking at alternative currencies like crypto. Those are the things that I'm interested in my day to day. And this presentation is for people that are looking for a group of like-minded people that want to experiment with things. Not everything is going to work for everybody, but if we can be open-minded and hold space for others, then we can all experience this beautiful up-leveling process. So I'm going to walk you through some practical sales and marketing, and I'm pretty sure at this point anybody who wasn't the right fit has fallen off because they weren't interested. But if you like experimenting with things that are maybe new or different, or you want to go deeper in your spiritual practice, or you know that you have a gift and you want to make sure that it's seen in the world, and that you're helping as many people as possible, then this is going to be a presentation for you. So I'm going to teach you today the exact daily steps required to easily make $10,000 every single month using spiritual leverage. And this is specifically designed for awakening entrepreneurs that are ready to master just 10 to 12 daily actions that are going to help you attract new clients and customers this week. So is this for you? Well, you're going to have to decide based on what you feel inside you, and the resonance that you're getting from me and from the information that I'm sharing. But the people who tend to resonate with what I do as a spiritual business consultant, they come to me and it feels like they're always waiting for something. It feels like they've got all this spiritual power and all these dreams are teed up for them, but none of them have really taken off yet. Let me make sure you can see this slide. And then, for me, an awakening entrepreneur is somebody who knows that they can help people, who knows that there is some way to kind of have this balance of mind, body, and spirit. You know that you have a product or service, but you really haven't been able to find your audience or grow your revenue. If that's you and you feel kind of stuck in that particular way, then this presentation is going to be for you. Now, I'm going to be offering a lot of practical value here. I've been a digital marketing consultant for almost 2 decades now. And so I'm going to give you tangible things that you can walk away and do to find a client this week and start making money. And that's the value, the practical value that I want to offer you in this. But I'm also going to be offering you a spiritual practice. So the practical value is that if you know you need to be doing something different but aren't sure what to do next, then this presentation is going to give you those practical business, sales, and marketing support that you need. And the idea is that you walk away and you're not confused about what your next step should be. I'm going to teach you practical actions that you can use to finally move the needle in your business so that you can start helping more people while making more money. But it is spiritual. This is a spiritual approach to entrepreneurship. And the purpose of this presentation is to help you pair practical sales and marketing strategies with the shadow work that will set your creative potential free and allow you to infuse every action with what I call spiritual leverage. So the 30-day vision is that in 30 days, you'll never have to worry about where your next client or paycheck is coming from again. And all it takes is 30 days, a few new choices, a little elbow grease, and then we're going to call in a lot of help from your spiritual team. So let's get this thing kicked off. Most freelancers who come to me, and what the data suggests is that most freelancers are only making $21 an hour. So even if you say that you make $100 an hour, you're really, when it comes into all of the time that you're putting in that you're not billing for, most freelancers are only charging $21 an hour, and that's before taxes. And so if you can't walk away from your business for 2 weeks without going broke, you don't have a business, you have a job. And so what I'm going to be teaching in this is strategies for you to step out of that solopreneur mode and move more into an enterprise style mode, which is the up leveling. It is the spiritual delegation process. We want to call in our spiritual team and our actual physical team to support us so that we're not having to do all the heavy lifting ourselves. Now, 8 out of 10 workers are currently living paycheck to paycheck. And if your salary is your only source of income and you don't know where your next client is going to come from, then really you're one step away from poverty. And so Trevor Noah has the old joke, well, if this comedy thing doesn't work out, I've always got poverty to fall back on. And unfortunately, a lot of people who come to me in the early stages of their business, or maybe the latter stages of their business when they're super frustrated, come to me and they don't know where their next client is coming from. And I want to change that in this presentation. Now, the data suggests that only 25% of freelancers feel confident that they could find a new client today if they had to, and only 40% of businesses are actually profitable. 30% of businesses are losing money, and 30% of businesses only break even at the end of the year. So you may not even have an accounting system in place, and so you don't even know if you're profitable. You know that you can just pay your rent every single month. And so we want to up-level you beyond scarcity mode and move you into a greater level of abundance. Then many of the awakening entrepreneurs that come to me say that they feel like they're waiting for something, and maybe you can resonate with that. So waiting for something feels like you're slowly becoming more and more frustrated because it feels like your spiritual team just isn't fulfilling their end of the deal. You keep praying, you keep doing your manifestation techniques, and nothing's coming in. And a lot of the people that I speak with early on don't have a clear process for being able to handle some of that frustration that they have towards God or towards their spiritual team or towards the events in their actual life. They don't know how to handle that on the emotional or energetic level, and they feel like they can't get things like the law of attraction to work for them. They must be missing something. They see it working for other people, but for some reason they haven't been able to get it to work for them, and maybe you can resonate with that a little bit. Now, right now, even spiritual business owners are feeling super stressed out. The Gallup poll in 2020 showed that daily stress before COVID-19 for men was 45%, for women was 38%. Those numbers went up pretty significantly during COVID-19. And of course, we're still kind of in the mix of a lot of that. And if your stress levels are super high, then you're missing data points in reality that could lead you to your next big opportunity, because luck is really just our ability to tune in to the right data points at the right time. And if we're super frustrated all the time, we're not seeing where that opportunity lives. And so we're not expanding in the joyous way that we otherwise might be able to. Now, most small business owners, when I talk to them, are just throwing noodles against the wall. They don't have any clear set actions that they're performing every single day. They're always trying something new. And that means that they're never really developing any level of mastery. So mastery is when you really know that something is going to work for you. You know that when you show up and take those actions, it's going to deliver the same or better result every single time. And because most entrepreneurs are just kind of trying everything and not really giving anything enough time to get it off the ground or develop a level of mastery, then nothing really ever sticks for them, and they're constantly in a place of frustration and stagnation. So to create a masterpiece, you've got to master each piece. That's one of those things that, as we break down language, just the way that language is put together a lot of times will tell us what we need to do. And so once you know the exact 10 to 12 actions that you need to take every single day to make $10,000 a month, you can start practicing those over and over again, and you're going to develop a level of mastery and muscle memory over what you need to do to bring in new clients every single week and create a masterpiece in your business and in the purposeful work that you're doing to up-level the planet. So those daily actions are going to become this soil that spiritual leverage uses to fertilize and grow in. And one of the things that, I use as kind of a construct in my own life is this idea that life renders on a probability wave. So there's an infinite number of possibilities available to each of us, but we're emotionally tied to a probability. So based on what we're thinking and what we're feeling, there's only a handful of things that are likely to happen, even though there's an infinite number of things that could happen if we shifted our vibration. And so in order to operate within that probability wave, we have to create a certain level of uncertainty in our lives. We need to build enough space for miracles to show up. And we do that by trying things, by tuning into our emotions, by shifting our vibration, by feeling our feelings, and really getting clear on our desires and the opportunities that we want to create and step into in our lives. So today, you're going to leave this training with a clear set of actions you can use every single day to attract the perfect clients whenever you need them, while creating a stream of consistent, predictable income that aligns with your soul purpose and your spiritual nature. And you're in the right place if you're a spiritual freelancer or business owner who wants a clear-cut system for aligning practical marketing and sales techniques with spiritual principles so that you can always find your next client whenever you need money. You're in the right place if you want a set of daily actions you can start taking today to find your soul's purpose while landing your ideal client by the end of the week. You're in the right place if you're open-minded and you like experimenting with new techniques, concepts, and modalities to see what works best for you and the people who you serve. You're in the right place if selling has felt soul-sucking to you and you're looking for a way to find some kind of spiritual alignment with the sales and marketing aspect of your business. You're in the right place if you're looking for your vibe tribe and want to connect with a group of like-minded or like-hearted spiritual entrepreneurs all working together to make more money so that we can help more people find new levels of truth and love. You're in the right place if you're the type of person who needs a pep talk or a message of accountability from time to time, like we all do. You're someone who's willing to do the work, but you do your best when you have somebody reminding you every day of the simple actions you can take to keep growing your business. You're in the right place if you've got a good idea and you know you're gifted, but you haven't been able to figure out how to turn your unique skills into a business. And you're in the right place if you wish you had somewhere you could turn to when you feel confused, frustrated, or stuck. So in full transparency, at the end of this presentation, I'm going to ask you to join a mastermind group of like-hearted entrepreneurs. We're all working towards the goal of making more money by helping more people and collectively raising the consciousness of the planet. And that's called the Awaken Entrepreneur Mastermind Group. It's going to have a cost of $12,000 a year once all the modules are fully built out. However, if you apply and are accepted during our early adopters window, is what we're calling it, we're going to give you a special price. And this program is set up so that you'll get the exact hand-holding you need to finally launch and accelerate your coaching, consulting, e-commerce, local, or service-based business. So conscious entrepreneurs who fill out our application today are joining for only $3,000 a year. However, if you stay till the end of this presentation, just as a reward for spending that much time and attention on what I'm going to be sharing with you, I'm going to show you how the people that take action today can get access to our Quick Start Prosperity Workbook and join the mastermind group, plus the course content, plus our daily office hours calls for only $49. And even if you don't join the group, I'm going to give a ton of free value on this presentation. So make sure that you're taking notes, either in your phone, a text application, or with a notebook, because these really are the things that the practical tools and the method for creating spiritual leverage that's allowed me to have $30,000 months and create a lot of income for myself and my clients while really helping people step into a bigger opportunity and hold more space for more people. But of course, knowing what to do is key. Most small businesses and freelancers are really guessing at how they should grow their business, and they get caught trying to do something new every other week. So anytime they watch a new YouTube video or read a new blog post, they switch their method to that, and so they're always trying to do something but never really doing anything well. And so the key to success is finding alignment with 10 to 12 actions that you can take every single day, and that is going to consistently bring in new customers. So we're going to explore what those could be for you, and it's going to be different for everyone. But you've got to get out of shiny object syndrome. So building a successful business requires that you develop some discipline, some grit, and some courage. You're not going to be successful if you have shiny object syndrome and are constantly leaving one strategy for the next new idea. You've got to focus and you've got to see your strategy through, and I'll show you how I do that and how I've had success doing that. And after this presentation, you're going to know how to go out and grab the low-hanging fruit. So you can start seeing results this week. You could potentially take the information in this presentation and get your next new client this week by going after what I call low-hanging fruit. And I'm going to point that out of what that could be for you in this presentation. But that low-hanging fruit isn't going to be available forever. And so you've got to have a long-term strategy in place for consistent results. And it has to align with some kind of spiritual leverage if you want your sales and marketing to feel easy and joyous. So finding long-term alignment is really what we're aiming for here. And most small business owners and freelancers don't give their marketing, prospecting, and sales activities enough time to be successful, or they never start because it all seems too hard or confusing. Most business owners that I meet with are trying to make action more important than alignment. And for those of us who are spiritual entrepreneurs and awakening entrepreneurs, we know that alignment is what greases the wheels and puts gasoline in the tank and allows us to supercharge everything that we're doing. So we want to be realistic and have practical things that we're doing, but we also want to make sure that we're in alignment with those things. And one of the concepts that I teach is that the present moment has all the information we need to succeed. But most business owners and freelancers avoid all of the discomfort of the present moment and instead are living in some kind of a future fantasy or an addiction-based frenzy. that manic energy that says, I gotta get to the next thing. If only I get to the next thing. And what they're doing is they're avoiding the discomfort of the present moment. And so they're actually in massive resistance to what's happening in their life. And of course, vision and success are important, and it's fun to visualize, but we only want to do that after we've tended to what's happening right in front of us and right within us. We've got to find alignment with what is. And that's the biggest thing that I see most spiritual entrepreneurs and practitioners missing, is that they can easily find alignment with something out in the future, but they're in deep resistance to what's actually happening in their life. So what I want to present to you in this presentation is called Creating Spiritual Leverage. And these are the 4 steps that I use to find deep satisfaction and success in my business and in my personal life. And the 4 steps are: we find presence, we go through our emotional process, we go through our practical process, and then we practice. So I will be walking you through how to apply that to your business and how that translates into dollars in your bank account. But first, we've got to show up for ourselves by practicing a level of deep presence. And so I want everybody to just take a deep breath in and then let it out. And then a deep breath in. Hold it a little bit, and then let it out. And just tune into your body, because there's so much information that lives in our body. And when we're constantly doing, we're caught in a cycle of busyness. And most people's business is busyness. And because of that, they have to effort their way through everything in their business, and it becomes exhausting, and it doesn't feel like anything has leverage to it. And so when we tune into our body and we notice what we're feeling, so notice your toes, your feet, your legs, your calf, your knees, your thighs, your torso, your stomach, your chest, your back, your arms, your fingers. Oops, maybe you have a little burp. Let that come up. This is all about just tuning into the present moment and finding what's happening in your body, because everything that we're going to be teaching in this presentation is about using the current state of energy in your body to understand what level of spiritual leverage you're creating from. Tune into your neck, the back of your head, your face, the top of your head, and just notice what's happening in your body. Is there any tension, any pain, any discomfort? Is there some anxiety or frustration because it feels like this isn't a practical way to approach your business? Just feel into some of that frustration, because what we're going to be teaching is how slowing down is one of the best ways to speed up. So close your email and all your browser windows. I want you to make space for yourself. If there's any distractions, ask your kids, family, roommates, coworkers, if they can just give you a couple hours so that you can focus on you and focus on being able to show up for them in a bigger way. Because ultimately, that's why being a successful, awakened entrepreneur is important, because we can then vibrate at a higher level and up-level all of the people around us. So, why should you trust me? Well, really, you should trust yourself. And as a business consultant, I've definitely been able to help many high-level executives and owners create success for almost 2 decades now. And I've also, on my spiritual journey, been down many of the longest and most devastating rabbit holes out there. And after deeply and intensely exploring each one of those rabbit holes, this system that I'm going to be teaching in this presentation is how I've been able to consistently make $15,000 to $30,000 every single month while providing value to more and more people and staying aligned with my own desires and values. So, feeling into the present moment is all about learning discernment. And part of that discernment is that if something happening in front of you resonates or feels interesting, then follow that resonance, follow that interest. If you think that this is so far sounds like something that would make sense for you, then let's keep going and see if we can't implement some ideas and concepts and techniques into your day-to-day that's going to allow you to help more people, and help yourself and your family and your community in a bigger way. And of course, part of that is making more money. So my name is Jon Ray. I've used the methods that I'm going to teach in this presentation to land my dream job at Google, even though I didn't have a college degree, and my team ended up helping over 18,000 business owners grow their business online. So I was pretty proud of that, but I also was having a spiritual awakening. And so I left Google to live in my truck and tour around a bunch of national parks and meditate and really figure out, what was my higher calling and purpose. So I was having this spiritual awakening, but everyone else thought I was going crazy to leave this great job and go live in my truck. And I quit alcohol and drugs. I got sober. I was trying to figure out what awakening meant. And I thought awakening meant that I was just supposed to meditate all day long and build these vision boards, and then eventually something would happen. And so I was doing a lot of yoga. I was always searching for my soul's purpose. I kept writing out the details of this future vision that always felt so real to me, but never seemed to fully manifest. And it just always felt like my big break was right around the corner, but it never actually came. And maybe you can resonate with parts of that. And I was basically financially broke, even though I kept telling myself, I have everything I need. I have everything I need. And of course I did. Like, I was never struggling in any real way. I always had enough gas to get to the next place. I had, this cool camper that I was living in. I was able to, buy the food that I needed. But I wasn't really able to do anything I wanted. I was just able to do what was necessary to survive in an easy kind of lackadaisical way. And so my day was full of spiritual practices, and yet I still felt numb inside. I recognized at some point that I was using all of my daily practices to avoid having to feel the actual discomfort of my life, which was that I was always waiting. Like, I was mad at my spiritual team and at God for not bringing those big experiences into my life. And I was avoiding the fact that even though I'd convinced myself that I was in control of my destiny, really, I wasn't that often. And that's when I realized something new. I was using my spiritual practices to hide from my most uncomfortable feelings. And those feelings were the key to manifesting the life that I desired. I had become addicted to bliss, and really I just wanted to escape into that state all the time. And so I convinced myself that I was joyous because I was constantly meditating and doing these things that were super peaceful, but I wasn't really having any impact, and there was a dissatisfaction in that. And every time I escaped into bliss, I was resisting the energy of that discomfort. And so all of these spiritual practices ended up being this mental thing that was happening in my head, and that mental barrier was preventing me from getting into tune with all of the emotional and energetic centers in my body and in my energetic field. And so I recognized that to create the life that I wanted, I had to turn those centers back on. And so when I learned how to really feel my feelings, that's truly when everything changed. So I didn't want to go to the gym. It felt uncomfortable. So I learned how to sit and feel that discomfort. I didn't want to go to work. It felt uncomfortable. So I learned how to sit with that uneasiness. I didn't want to be around anyone. I felt like a fraud. So I let that shame and guilt come to the surface. I couldn't really feel love for another person. So I allowed myself to feel the shame of that. I just started to simply allow all of that discomfort to express, and I felt it fully. And instead of trying to fix it and always use some spiritual practice to get into a positive place, I just allowed the energy of that to come forward. And doing this kind of shadow work really infused my life with a new kind of emotional energy. And when I became willing to feel through my discomfort, all of this new power and intuition came online in a new, pretty incredible way. And instead of white knuckling my sobriety and feeling frustrated that things weren't happening faster, all of a sudden, a lot of things started to move in my life. And, this allowed me to build a Shopify store that brought in over $100,000 a month for one of my clients. I've been able to help my clients make hundreds of thousands of dollars. I found my soulmate and was able to nurture a beautiful relationship with her. Feeling my feelings allowed me to be in the right place at the right time with the right people in the most delicious ways. And it really was that key that connected everything that I knew about the law of attraction, and it allowed me to really start utilizing that. I started to feel more alive and enthusiastic about life. And I grew my spiritual consulting business to have $30,000 months. And I found the perfect investment vehicles through crypto and silver and all of these interesting opportunities that I had been avoiding because I couldn't see them. I was in my own little world. And as soon as I expanded and became aware and just let reality hit me in the nervous system, I started to recognize that all of these opportunities had been in front of me the whole time. And I really started to gain perfect clarity on what my next steps were. So I just want you to imagine if you knew exactly what to do each day to build a strong business and a spiritual connection to a purpose that actually made you more money. Imagine if you had the energy and the desire to show up each day and execute on your plan joyously. Imagine if your intuition gave you vivid clarity on your next steps because it knew you were someone who knew how to actually show up and roll through challenges instead of just always retreating to your bliss space. And imagine if you were so comfortable taking action that you could create whatever you wanted quickly and easily. After spending nearly $100,000 on coaches, gurus, mentors, certifications, spiritual coaches and courses, personal development, I've figured out a simple series of steps that has allowed me to deepen my relationships, help more people, find creative flow, and make more money every single month. And I want to teach you those in the slides that follow. And that is this spiritual leverage process that I've been talking about, the 4 steps to satisfaction and success, which are presence, going deep into your emotional process, understanding what the practical process should be to bring about the result that you desire, and then practicing that practical process. So let me take a drink real quick of water. Let's take a breath. Let it out. Get into this next slide. So what does this mean? The first step is presence. Well, if you design your day properly, you don't have to set goals because life is going to show up bigger than you could imagine between the cracks of your daily practice. So goals can be useful to show you whether you really believe something is possible for you, or they can help you focus your attention. But it's important that we don't confuse achieving the goal with actual long-term joy, because joy is something that happens in the moment right now. And we can begin to create that in our life whenever we want. And so step 1 is always to start with practice and to become really still and to notice what energies or emotions are swirling around in our body and want to come to the surface, because life is constantly mirroring to us via the law of attraction the emotional energy that's trapped in our body. So we're actually manifesting our experiences in a way that triggers the trapped trauma that we have in our energetic field. And when we allow ourselves to feel through that using this beautiful process of presence by sitting with our body and feeling through our feelings, then we become someone who can manifest our greatest desires instead of our greatest nightmares, because whatever life is giving us is showing us the trauma within us that we're avoiding. So once we've gotten really present with ourselves, the opportunity is to ask ourselves, what discomfort, grief, or pain has been hidden in my busyness? So we're constantly moving around from action to action. And when we can feel through the discomfort that exists about where we're actually at in our life, and as we feel through that, find a place of balance, then that's when we're ready to open up to the intuition of what our actual daily practical process should be. So our practical process is when we know what to do. And we don't always know what to do, but we do know it when we hear it, especially when we're emotionally processed. And so what we want to explore is, what are the 10 to 12 actions that have been floating around in the back corners of your mind and feel right to you? The things that you know you should be doing but haven't quite found alignment with, or the things that seem interesting to you but maybe there's a little fear that's preventing you from stepping forward. We want to identify what actions done daily are going to move you in a direction that feels satisfying. And by showing up in a daily process each day, we give life enough momentum to move us easily and manifest joy simply. And so paradoxically, once we've found that joyous moment, right now, it becomes easier to manifest the stuff that we once thought would bring us that joy. So, the energy that we're creating from is what gets reflected back to us. And so if we can feel through our discomfort and make sure that we're not in resistance to anything that's happening in our day-to-day or anything that life is trying to trigger within us, once we feel through that trauma, then on the other side of doing that shadow work is all of this beautiful energy for manifestation and the intuition to show us what actions are going to be most beneficial to us specifically. And then we just show up and practice those. So when we show up each day and perform the same actions or skills, we're going to develop a level of mastery. And that kind of specialization of skill tends to net more tangible rewards than generalization. So practice is the language of champions. And once we know what to practice, we can show up and do those things every single day. So the way that we should approach, or the opportunity for approaching goal setting, is to first ask ourselves, what is my desire or goal? And then we ask, why don't I already have my goal? Because the mere fact that we're setting the goal usually means that we don't have it. You don't say, I have a goal of having lunch today, because most people, that's an easy thing for them to manifest. And so our goals represent things that we don't already have. So we want to make sure that we're fully emotionally present with, how do we feel about not having that right now? And then we want to feel into, does my goal seem possible? It may not seem possible. And so we need to feel through some of that discomfort. And so if there's any discomfort around our goal, step one is to be present with that discomfort and not judge it as a bad thing, but just to hold space for it. We want to sit with that discomfort until we can think about our goal and that discomfort is no longer present. And then once that discomfort is no longer present, we want to think about, what mechanism am I going to use to achieve my goal? So if it's money, what product am I going to sell? What service am I going to offer? What business am I going to start? If it's love, how am I going to show up in a way that is analogous to what my soulmate, wants to see in a partner? So once we have felt through the discomfort of how we actually feel in the present moment about our goal, that's when our intuition can come in and start to support us in filling in the details on how to bring that goal to reality. So if I have to spend my time, money, and effort on creating my goal, what we want to identify is which of those three things, time, money, or effort, am I going to rely on the most? And in what balance will I use those three things to achieve my goal? So if you have a lot of money, you can pay somebody to do a lot of things for you, and so you don't really have to spend much of your time or effort on creating the results that you want, because you can put your money to use and your money can buy other people's time and effort. However, if you don't have very much money, then you're going to have to put a lot more time and effort of your own into whatever you're trying to create. So it's important to recognize, what are you in abundance of? Do you have more time than money? Do you have more money than time? Do you have a strong discipline and a willingness for effort? Once you identify of time, money, and effort, the things that you have in abundance, then you can start to work with those things, and you can determine how are you going to specialize. So how can you make your product or service or offering more specific, so that it falls on the right ears in an emotional way, and I'll get into that in a couple slides from now. And then we're going to tune into, now that we know that, okay, I don't have much money, but I have a lot of time and I'm willing to put the effort in. Okay, so what are the 10 to 12 actions that you can practice each day that are going to be joyous just by taking them? So just by taking them, you're going to find them to be joyous. And then the bonus will be if they move you forward towards your goal. And that's really where you want to be. So what we want to be doing is time blocking our day, so that whether our goal manifests or not, we're going to have a good day. So you plan your ideal day so that you're going to enjoy the work from the start. You schedule actions that you're actually going to like taking. So people say, well, I don't like working out, so how am I going to do that? Well, you find a way to like it. So maybe you don't like running, or maybe you don't like going to the gym, but maybe your workout is taking a hike through nature, or doing some yoga, or going to a rowing class. You know, these are ways that you can get your workout in a way that you actually enjoy. So you want to schedule your actions in a way that you're actually going to enjoy taking them. If you enjoy taking a hike, then going for the hike provides the value of any workout, but whether you end up losing weight or becoming healthier is really erroneous, because you enjoyed the hike. And we want to do that with each of our business actions as well. And I'm going to show you how I do that. So we plan for the creation of spiritual leverage, which means that we're planning to feel our feelings, to meditate, to make sure that we're in alignment with what we're doing. And then we act from a place of inspiration and intuition. We want to learn to either eliminate the tasks that don't feel aligned or delegate them. And one of the biggest problems that I see with spiritual entrepreneurs or awakening entrepreneurs who come to me is that they haven't learned how to eliminate or delegate. And so we want to make sure that you're in your genius zone, and that means offloading anything that doesn't match that sweet spot of purpose. So we'll look at how you can do that. And then we want to focus on the very next step, not having to run the full marathon. So when we get too focused on the big picture goal, it can feel too daunting, and there can be too much confusion in how that's going to come in. And so what we want to make sure is that we're identifying, what is the next step that I can take, and then just focus on being in alignment with that next step until it's completed. And then what's the next step? You get in alignment with that. And then what's the next step? You get in alignment with that. And if each of those steps is designed in a way where it's joyous just to take the step, then you will create this vortex of energy that starts to pull in opportunities. But it all starts with time blocking your day out. So you can see on my day, I start with coffee, meditation, emotional processing, and maybe some inspirational videos or content. just to get in the right mindset and make sure that any discomfort that I have about what I have to do during the day is fully emotionally expressed. Then I have my breakfast, and you know, as I get busy, if I don't put meals in here, a lot of times I won't take them. So I'm making sure that I'm carving out enough time for everything for the day that I want to have. Then I meet with my team so I can make sure that I'm delegating anything that isn't specifically in my genius zone. I'm moving into content creation and emails. I'm showing up for sales prospecting. So this is me every day doing an hour of going out and finding new potential clients. Then I'm taking any scheduled calls that come out of that. I've got my lunch and I'm usually listening to inspirational podcasts. Then I'm taking another hour of scheduled sales calls. Then I have my Awaken Entrepreneur office hours where the mastermind can come in and ask me questions. Then I'm doing any one-on-one consulting or further content creation, either for Awaken Entrepreneur or for my social media or any books that I'm working on. Then I work out for an hour. I've got that blocked out. Either doing a run or some yoga, or on the Peloton, or doing some calisthenics, so some kind of a flow or qigong workout, and then I've got my dinner, and so I love this day, but this day sometimes is too much for me, and so on other days I block out a lot of time to just kind of be with myself and be in my zone of creation. So maybe I'll extend my emotional processing, meditation, and inspiration period a little bit. I'll make sure that I block out a couple hours to just have a creative thinking walk. You know, I don't beat myself up for wanting to be intentional. You know, I block out time to research some of the ideas that I have and flesh those out in a more detailed way. And then I give myself the space to actually sit down and stare at the blank page and create content and go into that stream of consciousness mode. So you've got to plan the day that you want to have. And I use Google Calendar to do that. But however you're blocking that out, you're much more likely to actually show up and do your process if you've identified the things that you need to do every single day. And so what I'm doing may be different from what you're doing, and we'll get into a lot of those things that you could add to your calendar in a bit. And this isn't going to be easy at first. It's going to seem hard. You're not going to be in alignment with it. You're going to groan. You're going to sigh. And that's why the first emotional processing step is so important. You want to feel through the discomfort that taking the new action has, because working out can be a really joyous event, but if we've had a bad experience with it, or if it feels like hard work, you know, then we have these built-in belief systems that say, well, I should have an easy life, I shouldn't have to do anything hard, and we're missing the opportunity to find joy in something that is growing us and stretching us. And so just like going to the gym for the first time, you may have a lot of resistance to doing some of the things that we're going to talk about in this presentation. But I promise you, this can and will be fun once you find alignment with it. And I'm not talking about having a hustle harder attitude where you're just efforting your way to success. Of course that can happen, but this is about finding alignment and finding the actions that are going to put you in flow, and acting from inspiration so that you're pleasantly surprised in how reality shows up for you. And so after you go through some of these processes and block out your day, you're going to have enough information to make $10,000 a month, but you're probably not going to take the steps that I outline right away. And the reason for that is because we don't usually value free things. Or when it comes to taking new action, there's still too much confusion, or we have some fear towards taking it. Maybe there's, you know, some laziness that we need to feel through. Maybe we feel uninspired, and so that's something we need to feel through. Maybe we're massive procrastinators. That's something that we need to feel through. When we're willing to actually address the feelings of the present moment, there's so much energy there that we can move just by holding space for it and lending attention to it. So there's this idea that we have to only focus on positive things. And so we end up living in this bliss bubble. But when we allow the present moment to be what it is, so when we say, you know what, I don't want to do that, it doesn't feel inspired for me, and we sit with that uncomfortable feeling, which is usually, well, then I don't know what to do. If we sit with that feeling of I don't know and just hold space for it and recognize that we're the spiritual tube. So we as a spiritual being are this tube, and when we have a traumatic experience in our life, that experience gets bypassed emotionally, and that ends up like gunk in our pipes. And so we've got this spiritual tube with this toroidal energy that's moving through us, but when we have an experience that's uncomfortable and then we puff out of body and bypass the emotion, the uncomfortable emotion of that moment, that emotion and that trauma gets caught in the pipe, and that's like gunk in the pipes. And so the more gunk in our pipes, the slower that our energy is moving. And so that means that we're not a frequency match to all of the inspiration, intuition, and ideas that are out there. But when we lend energy to the discomfort in our body, it's like pushing Drano down that spiritual pipe, and it starts to clear all of that out, and the energy starts to move faster. And that's the benefit of being present with that uncomfortable energy, because no quote unquote negative emotion lasts forever. If we lend enough attention to it without judgment and without resistance to the discomfort, it will dissipate and dissolve, and the energy will then move back into creative potential that moves through us faster. So you've got to actually feel through why you may not want to do some of the things that I'm going to highlight and have been highlighting in this presentation. And maybe it's that you'd rather do nothing than fail. You have a lot of discomfort around doing something and it not working. That's something to feel through. You know, you might say, oh, it'll work for others, but not for me. That's a belief system that you need to feel through, that it's not going to work for you. As you feel through those things, you're going to open up to inspiration and new energy that will actually potentially inspire you to want to take action on things that otherwise felt, that used to feel hard. So after this presentation, if you take notes, you're going to have enough information to go and find your first client. We've already highlighted kind of the spiritual process that I want to take you through, but then we're going to get into some practical actions that you can find alignment with to find that client. And if you need a little guidance, you're going to have the opportunity to purchase the Quick Start Prosperity Workbook and get 14 days of group coaching, consulting, and mastermind access for only $49. So that's going to be the hand-holding required to get you over that emotional hump and give you the support that you need. You're going to be given an opportunity to gain access to a deep dive course that's going to provide greater clarity into each of the concepts that I'm about to cover, and it's going to improve your chances for success. So this is what most light workers need. It's what most entrepreneurs need. They need accountability. They need support. They need the clarity on how to get into their genius zone. They need to be able to understand how to find alignment with actions that they're not aligned with right now. They need to know on a practical level how to create an offer, a product offering or a service offering that will actually sell. And they need to understand the steps required to bring in predictable income while helping as many people as possible. So if you know that this is what you need, then I want you to just click the button below. There's tons of information in this, but if you've got to go, if you're time sensitive right now and you know that you need that spiritual support and that support from an awakened group of entrepreneurs, then click the button below to get started. You'll get an email with everything that you need to log into the group and to set up your kickoff calls so that we can get really specific about what you need. But you might not need to join that group. If you're somebody who's a self-starter, who can take an idea and run with it, if you don't want a community to support you, then you will likely get enough from this video to make $10,000 a month. And if that's the case, then I'd love for, after you've implemented everything that we're going to cover today, for you to share your success with me via email or one of my social channels, so that we can use your success of how you took this presentation and applied it as a way to encourage other awakening entrepreneurs. So the mastermind group is available to you. It's going to provide you a lot of support, but right now let's get into exploring some of the specifics on how to actually create this spiritual leverage and use this 4-step process of presence, process, and practice to actually bring in some new clients. So I'm going to take another drink of water. The idea is to use presence, process, practice as a way to feel your way to freedom. So first you want to get crystal clear on your desires. You want to write out in holographic detail. So what it is you want your life to look like, what you want it to feel like, what you want it to sound like, what you want it to smell like, what you want it to taste like, how you want other people to show up in your life. Get clear on all of those details. And then feel through any of the discomfort that you have around those details. Because what happens is the more specific we get in our goals, the more emotional conflict shows up. And so this is why the law of attraction doesn't work for a lot of people who haven't done some kind of shadow work, because it requires that you feel first through that discomfort. So you want to identify any, as you put those details out, you want to identify any confusion, frustration, anger, disappointment, grief, any feeling that prevents you from taking consistent action. You want to make sure that you feel through that fully. And once you can think about all the details of your goal and the space in between where you are and where you want to be without it feeling uncomfortable, that's when you want to start to identify and create the practical processes and actions that are going to be required, because that's when your inspiration and your intuition is going to be tuned enough where you'll find the most highly leveraged ideas. And then you can make a list of those actions that you know you should take and break each one of those into small steps and time block those and put them on your schedule. And then once you know what those actions are, you just practice, and you'll get so good at doing those daily actions that it will become fun, because you'll be operating from a place of mastery. So step 1 is getting crystal clear on your desires. When you identify what you want, your mind, body, and soul will immediately start to show you the emotional blocks that are preventing you from achieving it. And the shadow work that I'm talking about, it could be thought about of cleaning your dirty window. So we all start out in life looking through a clean window, but anytime we have emotional trauma in our lives, especially emotional trauma that we bypass by going out of body or avoiding, that emotional trauma is dirt that gets thrown against the window. And so we absorb our parents and our society's trauma as little kids. You know, we're innocent little kids, and we absorb all of that trauma around us in addition to the trauma of our own lives. And when we avoid uncomfortable feelings, our energy field gets all muddy and we can't see clearly. And that manifests as confusion and not knowing what to do. And so as we feel our feelings, we clean the window and we can start to see more clearly. All that clarity starts to come back in. So your desires are going to show you what's in the way. And the key is to not try to go into a bliss bubble and pretend like you're not uncomfortable about not having your desire. The key is actually to feel through the discomfort of not having it. And once you can be present with where you're currently at and find alignment with where you're currently at, you're so much more likely to be able to call in the opportunities, elements, and actions, inspiration, intuition required to move into bigger and bigger escalations of opportunity and expansion. So you can do this after the presentation, or you could pause this and do this now, or if you join the mastermind group today, you're going to have this process in the prosperity workbook. But you take out a sheet of, the way this process works is you take out a sheet of paper and you list out every single thing that you can think of that you want in your life, for your career, your home, your relationships, and your spiritual life. And then as you list that out, we're going to go through a process with each of those things. So I used to think that the way that you attracted things in your life was you just said affirmations. You know, I want a lover. I want a great job. I would write out all these affirmations and goals. I would speak them as if they had already occurred. I even convinced myself that these things were manifesting, but the possibility of the manifestation was always slightly out in the future. So it always felt like it was coming. It never felt like it was here. And so when I would say those affirmations with a timeline on them, when I would say, I'm going to attract my lover today, ooh, that today would trigger me. There'd be a tinge of energy there. And that's how you know that you have resistance towards your own goals. And so I would meditate myself out of that discomfort and go into my bliss bubble. And that meant that unconscious resistance was still in my field, even though I was avoiding it through my bliss bubble, and it was preventing me from manifesting my desires. And so what I started to do is I started to allow myself to feel any of the resistance that came up when I put a timeline on my desires. So I would say, I want to attract a client this week. And if I didn't know how I was going to do that, or I didn't feel confident that I could do that, there would be a lot of discomfort in adding this week to the goal. And I would just sit and say, I'm going to attract a client this week, and feel through the discomfort of that. Not try to avoid it, not label it as bad, but feel through that uncomfortable energy. And when that uncomfortable energy was no longer present, I recognized that the ideas and the inspiration to actually bring about some of those affirmations would start to show up. So you want to look at your list, and for everything that you wrote down on your desire list, you want to add in the next 30 days to each of those desires. And then so you might say, I want to attract the perfect client in the next 30 days. And then just do a body scan and feel through your body and feel if you have any resistant tinge of energy there. And if there's any uncomfortable energy, or if you don't feel confident that you're going to be able to achieve your desire in 30 days, sit with the discomfort of that until it's no longer there. And you may want to set a timer for just 15 to 30 minutes and just allow some of those uncomfortable feelings to slowly start to burn themselves out until they're no longer present. Maybe you want to name those emotions and make sure that you're really feeling into where they live as energy in your body. Because remember, that uncomfortable energy isn't you. It's just gunk in your spiritual pipes. And so when you lend attention to that discomfort without avoiding it, without being resistant to it, without labeling it as bad, when you just notice it and hold space for it, that noticing and attention is Drano in the pipes that clears the traumatic energy out. It releases the samskara, and it allows your entire energy field to flow in a way that tunes you into the precise ideas and inspiration you need to bring about your desire. So you could write down, I will attract $10,000 within the next 30 days. So as you say that in your head or out loud right now, does that feel uncomfortable? Is there resistance? That resistance is where the up-leveling lives. If you can sit with that resistance and feel through it until you can say that you're going to attract $10,000 within the next 30 days and actually feel like it's possible, well, then that will start to tune you to see the data points that are required to get you from where you are to where you want to be. And often a big desire is going to bring up a lot of confusion and discomfort that we need to sit through because we don't know how to bring it about. And so step one is always getting to a place where saying the desire with a timeline on it no longer feels uncomfortable. And the reason that this works is that the law of attraction is actually designed to show us where we have stuck energy that prevents us from being wholly aligned with truth and love. So the law of attraction is not here to bring you a Ferrari, although a Ferrari might be a manifestation of being fully emotionally processed and in your genius zone. But that's not why, the law of attraction is part of the fabric of reality. The law of attraction is designed to show us where we have trauma that needs to be released. And in the release of that trauma, we become more wholly aligned with truth and love. And that frequency of truth and love allows other people to tap into truth and love as well. So inside the mastermind, there's going to be a deep dive into this practice and this method and idea of law of attraction. It's a little bit different from a lot of people that are teaching the law of attraction, and it's so powerful. It's going to take everything that you know about the law of attraction and supercharge it. And so I'm really excited to share this as a deep dive inside the mastermind. But real quickly, the energy around us can be manipulated at a mental level. And so a lot of affirmation and law of attraction processes that you may be familiar with can create short-term manipulations of energy, but for a long-term manifestation relationship with the law of attraction, we need to get in tune with our emotional energy, because the mirror of reality shows us where we have a dirty window, that trapped energy, and by noticing it, building space for those uncomfortable feelings and allowing them to express and pass, then we actually become a match to more joyful experiences, because life no longer has to trigger the feelings that are the uncomfortable feelings that we've been resisting and that are trapped inside of us. So whatever life gives us is designed to clean off our dirty window. And if we will feel through each experience in every moment, as we become present with the feelings of each moment, our window stays clean and we begin to see better choices, and we will make our choices from a stronger place of intuition and have more energetic drive connected to those choices. So step 2 is always to feel through any discomfort. We think that we can think anything, but really we only have access to a small band of information at any given moment, and that's due to these emotional filters, the dirty window that we have that we're looking through. So if we will feel through any uncomfortable feeling as it comes up, we give ourselves access to consistent inspiration, energy, and flow. And so a quick example of how this might show up in your life is the other day, I usually have a great practice of anytime there's some discomfort or some agitation in my day-to-day, I will cancel an appointment if I have to. I will find time to block out the space, feel through the agitation, get back to a place of balance, because I know from that place of balance, that's when I'm going to be most connected into the power centers of reality, and that's where I want to be operating from to be of the most service to the most people. However, the other day I had a super busy schedule. I overpacked my schedule. I was double booked in a couple things, and I had some agitation about a project that I was trying to finish that hadn't been finished yet by some of the members of my team. So that agitation was kind of building as an emotional energy in my system, and so my men's group on Thursdays used to meet at a cacao bar in downtown Austin. And so someone had posted, "Hey, see you tonight," and on Facebook, and so I was like, oh great, I need to get to this men's group. I need to feel through this agitation. So I went to the place that we normally meet. And it turns out that cacao bar had moved across town. And the post that I had liked on Facebook that said, "Hey, can't wait to see you tonight," was actually saying there's a new address. But because I was so agitated, I missed the key data point in that post. And so then I wasted a bunch of time and had to drive all the way across town. So when you have felt through your feelings, you don't miss data points like that. It's very rare that I miss a data point like that. And so I just want you to recognize that the reason we feel through our feelings is because we will see more. We will have more awareness about what's around us. And our spiritual team or our intuition will direct our attention to the exact things that need to have our attention so that we can be most efficient and most effective in the work that we're doing. So using spiritual leverage is about connecting in emotionally, and effort does not equal ease. Anybody can use a huge burst of energy and effort to get a heavy object up 4 flights of stairs, but it's way easier to find the elevator. And feeling our feelings allows us to always find the action that represents the metaphorical elevator. And it allows us to find high leverage ideas and actions. So when you've fully dissolved the uncomfortable feelings that you have about a subject in the present moment, you will naturally start to align with and find ideas and actions that are going to save you tons of time, tons of money, and tons of effort. And that's when work starts to feel fun. So I'm going to take another drink of water real quick. Okay, so what this looked like in my life was I was trying to fake it until I made it. I had heard that phrase as a salesperson, and so I would sell something that I really wasn't sure how I would deliver on. And then because I didn't have any clear process, it would take me 3 to 4 times as long as it should have to complete a project for a client because I had never done it before. And so I was constantly jiggled my screen there. So I was constantly procrastinating and making my clients wait for what I was doing. And so as I started to continue, as I continued with this fake it until you make it method, my whole life felt exhausting. It was difficult sometimes to even get out of bed, even if I'd slept for 10 hours. And really everything felt like I was pulling teeth, and I started to resent my work, and I started to resent all the actions that I knew I had to take. And so I stopped selling because I didn't want to do the work. And so after I started to feel my feelings, the ideas that started to come to me is, oh, you need to hire people who've already done it. So I started hiring coaches and mentors, and it felt uplifting to do that. It didn't feel like a waste of money. And then those people taught me their processes and showed me how easily I could do the same thing that they were doing. And they showed me a bunch of shortcuts, and I started to be tapped into the ideas and intuition that would save me money and show me the shortcut. And so as I felt through all the discomfort that I had on many, many subjects, I would just naturally find the right people, the right ideas, and the techniques that were allowing me to start thriving. So are you faking it right now? I want you to feel into that. Like, are you showing up in a way that's not genuine to who you really are? What if you didn't have to fake it anymore and you knew exactly how to provide massive value? I want you to ask yourself this question. Is your spiritual team and your intuition holding back because it knows you're not someone willing to feel through uncomfortable feelings or take the leap? Think about if you were on a sports team and you were the coach, and every time there was a challenge, you as a player, decided that you wanted to go sit back on the bench and meditate. Well, why would the coach continue to give you advice? And why would the coach continue to put you in the game? If you're not willing to feel through those uncomfortable feelings, your spiritual team can't really work with you because you're not willing to go on the growth journey that they want to put you on. You're not willing to stay in that stretch zone long enough to develop some new muscle memory. So if you're tired of feeling like a fraud like I was, or pretending it's all going to just line up at some magical point in the future, or if you're feeling uncomfortable feelings, or if feeling your uncomfortable feelings, meant that you could finally start to thrive, would you be willing to do that? Would you be willing to do some of that uncomfortable work and feel through those uncomfortable feelings, knowing that on the other side of that actually is the spiritual power and the grounding of that spiritual power into reality and into your life and in the way that is possible? Would you do that? Are you willing to be unreasonably humble? So the definition that I use of humble or humility is from A.J. Miller of Divine Truth, and he says that being humble is a willingness to feel every feeling, no matter how uncomfortable, in the moment it comes up and as fully as possible. And when we can be humble in this way, life opens up for us in an incredible way. And when we can hold space for them to feel their feelings, life opens up for all the people around us. It's this incredible up-leveling that happens once we're willing to hold space for uncomfortable feelings. And that's what being humble is. So when we feel we heal what blocks us from success, we're more capable of holding space for others. We find creative flow more often. We find ourselves with the right people and in the right places, and we have true perfect timing and begin to get ahead of the curve instead of always rolling into the gas station just as we're running out of fuel. And you know what that feels like, that idea of perfect timing where the check, maybe always comes in, right at the last moment, right before you're about to have to pay your rent, or there's going to be a late fee. I had that experience where I would always have just enough to get by, but never enough to feel secure and confident. And when I learned to feel through my feelings, I really got into that future vision started to show up in the present moment, and the present moment started to be a liberating experience instead of always waiting for something to show up. So step 3 is to identify and create the actions, the right actions. As we feel through the blocked energy that's preventing us from manifesting our desires, we're going to start to have inspired ideas for the actions that we need to take, the specific actions that are going to be most valuable for us. And each action is going to be a series of smaller actions that we should identify and document so that we don't have to waste so much energy figuring out what we need to do each time. So when you think about making $10,000 a month, I want you to think about all of the different ways that you could create that much money in your business over the next 30 days. So is that a $10 product to 1,000 customers? Is it a $25 product to 400 customers? $75 product to 134 customers? A $100 product to 100 customers? A $250 product to 40 customers? A $500 to 20? $1,000 product to 10, or a $2,500 product to 4 customers? Or is it just one customer that pays you $10,000? And then look at what your current price is. Maybe you're charging $75 an hour. Maybe you're charging $500 an hour. What kind of value add could you offer to your hourly rate that would allow you to double the value and therefore double your price? So we want to think about the way, what does $10,000 actually look like broken down? Because once we understand all of the ways that money could come to us, our intuition has something to grasp onto and start to work with. So we only have so much processing power each day. And when we clearly list out every action that's going to be required to achieve a desired outcome, we don't have to waste so much energy thinking about what we're going to do next. And instead, we can just show up and do the next thing on the list. And so this helps reduce procrastination, and it allows us to scale our actions quickly. So if you didn't know how you're ever going to make $10,000 in your business, just seeing the various product mock-ups of how you could create that income is going to start generating ideas for you. And so you're not going to waste so much energy in confusion, because now you have different mechanisms that you can start to draw data points and inspiration into. So much of my life, I waited until the last minute to complete my client projects, and I would pride myself in being so spiritually aligned that when I finally did show up to a project, the last minute on the last night, I could perfectly get it done in one quick go, and I could. I was really good at delivering in the last moment, and it's okay to be the procrastinator sometimes. However, what would happen is I would wait until the last minute, for weeks before I got started. I would always have this low-level hum of anxiety that was nagging me and preventing me from really being present. And I actually believed that that anxiety was helpful. And so it would manifest in my life every single day. And that anxiety would be my taskmaster. And so it never failed that when I would finally sit down and start a project, all the ideas and inspiration would start to come to me. Because I really had developed that spiritual power in my meditations. I just wasn't grounding it into reality all the time. And so that final deadline would get me to show up, and I would find that alignment, and I would get it done perfectly. And that was because in many ways I was in alignment with the project. I just wasn't in alignment with the timeline. And so I was wasting so much energy that I couldn't scale my business because I was procrastinating on too many projects. And so I just didn't have enough time in my day. And so when one of my coaches started to have me document all of my processes, that's when something shifted, because there was way less procrastination because I already had a list of what each service offering was, and the specific items that I needed to do and in what order. And so I could just immediately start working with a client instead of waiting till the last minute. And the results for my clients became easily duplicatable, and duplication is a big part of how much abundance we can draw in. And so I began to scale my business. And so for something like this coaching program that I'm doing, making $10,000 a month, through the lens of that program, and any of you could create a program like this, would be you charge $250, for a coaching client every single month. You need 40 customers to pay that to make $10,000 a month. And so for me, I broke that into, well, what needs to happen when somebody comes into my program? Well, I need to have them complete the prosperity worksheet so that they're clear on their desires and the shadow work that's required for them to have this up-leveling experience. Well, that can be automated. I need to have a client complete a quick fire product offering worksheet. That can be automated. I need to have my kickoff coaching call so I can get the client really clear on their next steps and exactly how they need to show up in the program to see success in the fastest way. Okay, so I know that needs to happen. I can find out on that call, I can find out everywhere that a client is stuck and offer daily support. So in the chat groups that are in our group, one client can come to me with a question, and then I can respond in a general way where the entire group can see it and get the benefit of that question. So that's me delivering one to many. That's me leveraging myself. I can enroll them into subject-specific chat support groups. That's automated. I can make sure that new clients watch all the video modules. That's automated. I can post daily inspiration and personal learnings to the group chat. That's one to many. I spend time developing one piece of content and a bunch of people get it. I can have group office hour calls for support and feedback. That means that everybody in the group can come in and ask me questions. And so instead of having to do a bunch of one-on-one calls, it's a one-to-many thing. We want to create as many leverage points in our product and service offering as we can. I can post weekly awakening spotlight videos that help people in the group see their blind spot, and then other people can benefit from that awakening spotlight. So that's one to many. I can provide a monthly feedback worksheet so that there's a mechanism for anybody in the group to communicate to me where they don't feel like they're getting value, and then that feedback allows me to make the group better. So that's an automated thing that can go out. And then I can do Awakening Entrepreneur highlight interviews with all my clients who use this process to develop 10,000 a month in their own thing. That's a one-to-many thing, because then all of those clients help me get more clients. And so that's a breakdown of what a coaching program could look like in your own business. You could do some variation of that. So planned actions are inspired actions. Once you land on the actions that you can find alignment on, and once you put them on your calendar, now you don't have to waste so much energy every day figuring out what you should do. So what would happen if you had a checklist for every action you needed to take to achieve success in your business? We almost always know what to do. There's always some inkling of what we should do, but some low-level anxiety creates a wall of confusion that stops us from taking that. So think about, where you want to be. There's likely at least 2 or 3 things that you should be doing, but you've been procrastinating on that. If you can feel through that procrastination, you will find deeper alignment with those things you know you should be doing. And when our processes are documented, we can easily get started and move beyond that anxiety, even if it's not fully felt through, and move beyond our blocks. And that brings us into step 4, which is then we just practice, and then practice again all of those inspired actions that we've documented. So most entrepreneurs are really, a kind of jack of all trades. And what we want to start aiming for is a level of mastery. And we do that by identifying the inspired actions that we can take over and over again until we have mastery in them. Having the ability to expertly execute a series of actions will give us confidence, and that confidence raises our vibration, and it calls in new opportunity. It creates an energy field around us that draws opportunity into it, and our specialized mastery allows us to live in our genius zone more often, which is going to bring joy to our clients, to ourselves, to our family, to our community around us, and to just allow joy to ripple out from us as a radio signal. So to feel your way to freedom, you've got to get crystal clear on your desires. You write those out in holographic detail, which means all 5 senses, plus a psychic sense, all 6 senses, right? How you feel in each of those senses in relationship to how you want your desire to manifest. Then put a timeline on that desire and feel through any discomfort that you have around that. Once that discomfort is no longer there around the desire or the timeline, that's when you're going to feel into what are the actions that I know I should take. You're scrolling through Instagram and you see an ad for something. You click on that. It resonates. You're in an inspired place. You see an article or a book on the bookshelf. Somebody tells you about something that they did and you say, you know what, maybe I should do that. You start to know what you should do, and then as you write down the things you know you should do, you do a little bit of research so that you can get very specific into the nitty-gritty steps that make up each of those bigger actions. So just like you could say, I'm going to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Well, you want to break that into smaller actions. I think this was a Sesame Street episode. So what are the actions of showing up on a sales call? Well, you need to have some kind of a list. You need to know what you're going to say. You need to have your benefits highlighted. We'll get into some of those specifics, but you're going to need to identify the actions you want to show up in and then do a little bit of research or hire somebody to tell you what are the specifics of those actions that you should take so that you can then start practicing those actions. And anyone can find success like this because where attention goes, energy flows. And energy and attention also act as Drano in our pipes. And so as we feel our feelings, that attention is going to dissolve any blockages that we have. And it's going to open up new potential. And that creativity shows up as inspiration. And so life is going to show us what needs to be emotionally cleared if we will just allow life to hit us in the nervous system and feel through any discomfort that comes there. So know what you want and feel through why you don't already have it. Step 2 is to feel that discomfort until it's no longer there. And as it comes up in the present moment, then you document the common actions that you know you need to take, and you practice those until you have mastery. And you can have anything that you desire using this process. So that may sound like a bunch of jibber jabber, and so I want to show you how I actually use this to grow my business. So let's explore this process as it applies to the actions required to find more clients and make more money. So remember, the 4 steps of spiritual leverage and to finding deep satisfaction and success are presence, going through your emotional process, feeling your feelings, finding the practical process, listening to your inspiration on what those should do, and then practicing those actions. So presence is, why don't I already have my dream? How does that make me feel? Is this possible for me? You want to feel into any of that discomfort and confusion so that you can get connected into the frequency that's going to show you the data points that are available to you that's going to put you on your purpose path. Doing the emotional processing is going to help bring clarity about what your next step should be. That's why you do it. And I keep harping on that because a lot of people want to skip this step, and it is the spiritual leverage step. So how do you know what your next step should be? You'll know it. As you feel through your discomfort, there's going to be no doubt in your mind what the next step should be once you see it, once you feel it. And you're going to feel that it will work for you, and then you go with that inspiration. You take the inspired action. So you want to get emotionally clear and then just feel around a little bit. Look around, go to the library, go to the bookstore, look at some ads that pop up. Reality will show you what you need to see once you're fully emotionally processed, and you just want to try some ideas on and play around with them until you lock into one that feels like the right one, like the right activity, one that feels like it's definitely going to work. And then that step is going to be something that you time block, and it's not going to be the same step for everyone. It's going to be specific to you. So some of the practical things that you could start to feel into, as you felt through your desires, and some of the things that will allow you to sell your product or service, promote your business in a better way, are making general things more specific. So a general offer might be, if you're a massage therapist, a general offer might be, hey, come and get a massage from me. It's great to help your muscles relax and reduce stress. This is how most massage websites read. However, you will get more clients by being more specific to an audience. So a specific audience would be a tension cyclist experiencing tingling, numbness, or pain after a long ride. This common sensation is called ulnar neuropathy and happens when our muscles get inflamed. Getting a massage will help you reduce this inflammation and gives you much faster recovery times after long rides. Book a massage with me today and get my free PDF, 25 Ways to Reduce Ulnar Neuropathy. So can you see how that specific offer, if I'm a cyclist and I have pain after a long ride, I'm going to want to immediately book a session with you because you have identified that you can provide relief to my specific thing. When I see somebody say, oh, I can help your muscles relax, it doesn't resonate with me as much as you identifying the specific pain that I have and offering a solution. And so if you're a massage therapist that's charging $60 an hour or $75 an hour, you can provide a value add where you create content that goes to some of these specific audiences. So they download this PDF, that's specific to a cyclist. They read through it, and at the end of it, you can say, come in for my introductory package for cyclists, $250. I'm going to tell you all of the stretches and things that you can do as a cyclist to avoid this pain, to avoid manifesting this pain and discomfort, and lean into it with certain stretches so that you can become a better cyclist. And so that still only takes you an hour to do all that because you can explain some of that while they're on the table and you're giving the massage. But now that hour you can charge $250 instead of only charging $60 because you're providing information and a value add to just the massage. So that requires that you have a customer avatar or some kind of a niche. And so you could identify your niche by looking at who you were 1 to 3 years ago, because the people that we were 1 to 3 years ago, we've likely evolved beyond that. We've likely learned a lot in the last 3 years. And so whoever you were 1 to 3 years ago, that's likely the type of person that you can really help right now and who you'll really be able to speak to with your product or service offering. So get clear on who that person is and how you can specifically talk to them in your offer. Or who is your favorite customer? What niche are they in? What's their profession? What's their background? What's their life story? Figure out some aspect of your favorite customer that you can really dial in so that you can find more people like that. And you'll sell more once you niche down in this way. So a general offer might be, hi, I'm a business coach helping entrepreneurs build a brand. unfortunately, a lot of business consultants, this is how their website reads. A specific offer would be, I help rural realtors align with purpose and build websites that bring in more leads. If I'm a realtor, if I'm a rural realtor, am I more likely to go with somebody who has a generic offering? I'm a business coach helping entrepreneurs build a brand. That's still what I need. Or am I going to go with the person who has, I help rural realtors align with purpose and build websites that bring in more leads? The person who's saying the exact thing that will solve the pain that I have. So you want to think about how you can have a lot of niches and speak to a lot of niches if you want. But talking in specific terms is going to help you sell more. So a general offer might be, I'm a life coach who guides you towards your soul's purpose. Well, that's pretty generic, and this is how most life coach websites read. A specific offer, however, is, I help mothers starting a business get rid of doubt by connecting you with messages from Spirit. If I'm a mother starting a business and I'm looking for spiritual support, that specific offer is going to have an emotional connection to the pain and the solution that I'm seeking, and I'm going to want to buy. There's going to be some urgency. I'm going to want to buy into your program sooner and potentially for more money. Plus, specific is easier to target. So you want to think about who your customers are and what business or profession are they in. Because if you can think about what profession they're in, you can target the way that B2B salesmen and salespeople do, rather than trying to find each individual customer. So if you're a life coach and you're just looking for small business owners, that could be a category that you could identify, but it might be pretty broad. And so maybe you create some specific landing pages and content for realtors, for massage therapists, for acupuncturists, and you say, I'm the life coach for acupuncturists. I'm the life coach, for salespeople. I'm the life coach for, blue collar workers. Whatever it is, tying into their profession and to a career niche allows you to target and find these people more easily. So if you're running ads on Facebook, Instagram, and Google, it's going to a niche will allow you to target more specifically, which means your ads will convert better. And the more cross interests you target at once, the easier it is to get an immediate yes. So if in the drop shipping world, if you create a t-shirt and on that t-shirt is a dog, and then you run an ad that says, buy my dog t-shirt, and you target that towards dog lovers, well, a handful of people are going to buy it because they like dogs. However, if you have a t-shirt and you have a basset hound on it, and the basset hound is drinking a cup of coffee, but the basset hound, while drinking a cup of coffee, is also riding a skateboard, and then you target that towards people in your ads who like skateboarding, drink coffee, and love basset hounds, that creates an emotional specific connection, and that's going to make it very likely that they make an emotional purchase and that they go with you over your competition. So you always want to be thinking about how can you niche down and become more specific. And then you can find these people by targeting their career niches. You can make a list of the top 300 bloggers or podcasters in that niche. Start interacting with them. You can start guest blogging on that niche's blogs. You can target that niche on LinkedIn and interact with them. With people there. You can search people out on Facebook groups that are a part of that niche. You can go to meetup groups for your niche. You can find and attract your niche on new platforms like Clubhouse and have really intimate conversations with those people. You can find niche-specific networking groups and join those. And you can tell everyone you meet the specific group you help so that they'll refer you to more people. So you might be a copywriter and you could easily write copy for anybody, but if you say that I'm a copywriter that has a specific method for e-commerce site owners, that's a much more specific offer. And so if I have a choice between somebody who is a generic copywriter and somebody who is telling me that they write specifically for me, well, in the case of a copywriter, I would definitely want to go with the person who has specified some kind of niche because that means that they're a good copywriter. But no matter what the profession is, when you get specific and you niche down, you're going to attract more people, and you're going to be able to find the people that you want to help more easily. And your niche should be something that you know. So one of my niches in the past has been property managers, because I used to be a property manager and realtor. My niche now in this program is spiritually minded entrepreneurs, awakening entrepreneurs, because I am an awakening entrepreneur. It's a niche that I know really well. But you don't have to have just one niche. Maybe you have a page on your website that's something like who I serve, and you have a drop-down menu with a bunch of different niches, and then they click on that, and you have your specific offer for each of those niches. So think about what industries you've worked in the past. Maybe you've worked as a waitress, and so you want to tailor your product towards waitresses or the problems that a waiter has. So what are the problems a waiter have? Well, maybe they have a lot of stress and tension, after working a long weekend, or maybe they, are trying to find a career where they can get out of the restaurants. And so because you used to be a waiter or waitress, you know what that path looks like, and you can tailor your specific product to how to help them do that. And so if I'm a waiter or waitress and I see an ad that says, waiters and waitresses get a psychic reading that will help you move into a bigger career opportunity, well, I'm going to stop on that ad if I want to move into a bigger career opportunity and I'm into psychics. Like that feels like synchronicity to me. So you can create synchronicity by being specific in your offer. And the person you're most capable of helping is likely the person that you used to be, or someone like your best customer. So who was that person? What transformation have you undertaken, or has your best customer undertaken with you over the last 3 years? That transformation needs to be part of your message and your service offering, because that's what you're most capable right now of communicating and guiding other people through. So you want to become a pointer to good niche specific information. You want to find articles that are relevant to your niche. You want to share on social media with niche specific guidance. And again, you could have it, on Mondays a post for service industry professionals. On Tuesday, a post for therapists. So you can target many people in many different niches, but the key is that you've got to target them. And you want to make sure that you're telling people at least once a week what they can hire you to do for them, because you'll get more referrals this way. And people who have a specific pain are going to be more likely to tune into your content if they see that you cater to their specific niche. So how do you speak to that niche? On your social media, you need to time block a social posting plan. So your plan, screenshot this or write this down, can be on Mondays, you have an inspirational post. I'll show you what these all look like. On Tuesday, you have an expertise post. On Wednesday, you have a testimonial post. On Thursday, you have an overcoming a personal challenge post. On Friday, you have a service to others post or a humble pitch. And then on Saturday or Sunday, you either rest or you have a free write. And so what I do is I will sometimes write these in the moment, but a lot of times I'll pick one day a week and I'll batch a full week's worth of posts. And you can use canva.com to create really good looking posts, that are going to showcase that you're a professional and draw attention to what you're doing. So some examples that I've posted are, and here's an inspirational post that I did. The number one way to make money is to find out what somebody wants and help them get it. And then I usually include a text, written post that goes along with each of these. And so if somebody's looking to make money, this can be inspiring to them, because they realize, oh, that's right, it is that simple. I just have to find out what somebody wants and then figure out how to help them do it, and I can charge money for that. An expertise post, I posted something that said, alcoholics and addicts, step into your power by feeling your feelings. Listen to my latest talk. And then this was a link to a talk that I gave at a sober a sober living home. And so this showcases that, oh, I'm speaking to groups of people. I'm an expert. If you're an alcoholic or addict, maybe you want to work with me. If you're interested in ideas like feeling your feelings, maybe you want to work with me. Or maybe you want to listen to my talk. And this drives home the narrative that I'm an expert because somebody else hired me for something. So then you want to do a testimonial post. So Jolynn, has been a beautiful client of mine and really done the work that's required to have some big up levels in her life. And she wrote me this testimonial. So I used Canva to turn it into this interesting, space lady post. And it says the most impactful coaches are the ones who first tread deep into the waters they encourage others to go into. These deep divers are the ones who are capable of inspiring others to shift perspective and paradigm because they themselves dare to keep diving deeper. This is Jon. I believe this is a main reason why working with him has made the difference every time. So, of course, if you've been wondering about working with me and you read something like this, now you feel like, other people are getting the experience that I want to get. And so once a week, you want to try to be putting testimonials forth. And in the group, as part of the worksheets, I give you a form that you can sit every time you have a phone call with someone, whether you charge money for it or not. Even if you're giving free coaching to a friend, you send them this form and ask them for feedback. And part of that feedback is, will you write a testimonial about whether or not this conversation helped you? And this is a way to massively upscale and expand the number of testimonials that you're getting so that you can constantly be humble bragging by letting other people talk you up. And then you post that to social. So then an overcoming personal challenge post, this is me acknowledging, hey, sometimes I have to sit with big feelings. I have big feelings just like you. You want to showcase that you have had the experience and the pain that they're going through, and you know how uncomfortable it is, and here's how you overcame it. So I said, sometimes I will sit with big feelings for several hours before the emotional energy moving through me has fully processed and balanced itself. Why take the time to do this? Because agitation is a sign that I'm seeing the world through a distortion filter, that I am not seeing data points that would provide clarity. When I sit with myself, lend curiosity to my feelings, and simply watch them burn, I open up new creative potential. This is where I find actual presence and where the solutions I'm seeking live. And then this was accompanied by a post of how I've applied that in my life. So you want to think about the challenges that you've overcome in the past and in your day-to-day, and showcase that you're somebody who is a solution finder, because that's the type of people want to hire. Then you want to have a service to others post. This is what I call a humble brag post. So I said, planning session, honored to be speaking at an amazing men's retreat next weekend. And I took a picture of the agenda that I was creating for the men's meeting or the men's retreat that I had been hired to come and speak at that weekend. Well, what am I doing? I'm showcasing that I'm working. I'm saying that I'm honored to be speaking, but what I'm really saying is, hey, someone trusts me enough to hire me to come and speak at a men's retreat. And so that anchors in my expertise. So your service to others post, when you're meeting with a client for coffee, or even if it's a friend for coffee, maybe you take a picture of the coffee and you wrote an inspirational note, in your journal, and you take a picture of that journal next to your coffee, and you say something like, I love getting to meet with friends, and having a deep connection and being able to offer this kind of advice. And so it's a humble brag. You're saying, hey, I met with a friend. I provided them some advice. I'm the type of person who can do that. But you're doing it in a way that is not over the top self-congratulatory. And then on your free write days, I like I'm a writer, so I like to just write things. Maybe you create some artwork or a doodle. Maybe you post a photograph, or this is a more personal, and you take a photo and you just post a photo of yourself, or you doing something cool. For me on this free write day, I said, someone once said that the first 5 days of the month are an energetic test. The first 5 days represent all the lessons we're meant to learn over the course of the month. When we stay hyper aware of the first 5 days of any month and feel through anything which presents itself, then respond consciously versus reacting unconsciously, then if we can do that for those first 5 days of the month, we can walk in mastery for the remainder of the month. So that was just a little tidbit that came to me, and that was part of my free write day. You've got to have a social media plan, and you want to think about, what does your niche need? Like, what are all these social posts pointing to? What are you trying to sell? Well, if you're trying to make $10,000 a month, you need to know, how many people are you trying to pull into your ecosystem? What are you trying to get them to do? What pain do they have? Speak to that pain in all of your content. If you can find your niche's pain and provide some level of release in a small form on social media, and then in a larger form, help them completely transform that pain and step into the relief that they're looking for, and the up-leveled desire that they have, then you can really start to escalate the number of people that are contacting you and curious and interested in your work. But you have to time block all of this. You have to plan your ideal day so that you actually create those social posts, so that you actually show up in those Facebook groups. And again, this day is a day that I like having. I like this day, and so that's why I do it. But on days, on weeks where I feel like, you know what? I need to get back in tune with some of my desires for the future. I will schedule that time out to be still with myself, and I won't beat myself up for it. It's not all about efforting. It's about holding the right amount of space for you. So if you will show up daily in some kind of process that you can feel good about each day for 30 days, I want you to watch what shifts, because it will be powerful, and you will call in new clients, new opportunities, new career experiences, a lover. All of these things show up when you're in momentum. Momentum calls towards it more momentum. And so having a presence, process, practice that you do for 30 days will be incredibly powerful. So let's unpack that a little bit more. So the ways to feel your way to freedom, again, are get crystal clear on your desires, full holographic detail, then you put a timeline on those desires and feel through any of the discomfort that you have about that timeline. Once that discomfort is no longer there, you identify and create a process for the actions, because now you're of a vibration and frequency where you will be drawn towards the right actions and not have any of the procrastination energy there. And then once you've identified those right actions, you just practice those and time block them out and show up every day and do those actions. So the key to prosperity is simple. You find out what somebody wants and you help them get it. So download the Prosperity Workbook to be guided through a series of questions. Excuse me, I'm a little burpy. Download the Prosperity Workbook to be guided through a series of questions that will help you figure out who you can best help and how to get them to pay you money in the next 24 hours. Part of how you're going to do that is by going after what we call a warm audience. So there are already customers that you likely have, people that have signed up for maybe an email list of yours, people who you know are somewhat interested in what you're doing, but they haven't bought something, family members, friends. That's your warm audience. So what I'm going to have you do in order to grab that low-hanging fruit is you're going to send these people a specific offer via text message, Facebook message, email, or phone call, and that's going to go to all past customers, prospects, friends, family, or acquaintances, and share with them your niche and how you're helping that niche, so that, one, if they're that niche, they might want to sign up and buy something from you, and two, so that they can refer the people that they know to you. And so we do that through something that we call a SPEAR email or text message, which stands for short, personal email expecting a response. This comes from Jason Capital. You don't want to overcomplicate this. You want to make it short, sweet, and to the point. And an example would be, Hi, Nancy. I know you're a cyclist, and I'm just curious. Do you experience tingling, numbness, or pain after a long ride? So you send that as a text message to Nancy. And so if she says, yeah, actually, I do, and you know Nancy's a cyclist, so that's why you sent that in the first place. So then you respond, well, sorry to hear that, but I thought that might be the case. That's called ulnar neuropathy. I'm putting together a massage program and some information to help cyclists like you who are suffering from that kind of inflammation. Um, are you looking for that kind of relief, or would you be interested in something like that? So now this starts a very intimate, emotionally charged conversation because you've identified specifically a pain point of theirs that you could help with. So as you go through your warm list, you want to be thinking about what niche is this person in, what kind of relief, what kind of pain are they in by being in that niche, or being that kind of person, and what kind of specific relief can I offer, and how could I send that as a spear text message or email. And so what you'll learn after doing this, and you don't have to send out one of these to every single person in your phone today, send it out to 5 people a day and see what happens. But you will start to learn that being someone who is great at communicating specifics is very good for sales. You can have a general brand, that's fine. You can serve many types of people, but in your advertising and your messaging, it can be way more valuable to segment your customers and speak specifically to their core pain, problems, and dreams. Anytime you need money, remember, specificity sells. So where do you use this? Excuse me. Well, if you're running a Facebook or Instagram ad, you want to be as specific as possible and to really target a specific niche in your social media posts, email, texting past customers, LinkedIn prospecting, going into Facebook groups and posting around, going to meetup groups, bloggers, podcasts, YouTube commenting, making sure that your friends and family know the niches that you serve, because those are people that are likely to give you referrals. And if somebody knows that you have a specific niche and then they run into somebody who's in that niche, it's a softer referral for them to make. You could buy an email list. You could develop niche specific products. Your website copy should be specific. Your SEO post should be specific. You could build several websites, a specific website for each niche. You could create niche specific YouTube content, TikTok content, and have maybe niche specific interest-based social media accounts. And in your cold calling, like you could call a certain niche of people. So, the possibilities are endless, but the key is taking one of these things on this list and time blocking it out. If you don't put it on your schedule, it's highly unlikely that you will continue to do it. And so putting it on your schedule, even if you don't do it every day, you're going to feel that tinge of feeling ashamed that you're not doing it. And so then you can feel through that shame, and then you'll be more likely to do it. And so just put it, even if you're not going to do it today, or you don't want to do it this week, just block out an hour on your schedule that says, I'm gonna make a social media write a social media post during this hour each day. Just put it on your schedule, repeat it out into the future, and then every day your phone's gonna ping and say, hey, this is the hour where you're supposed to be developing social media content. And then if you don't want to do it, just feel through the discomfort of not wanting to do it, and the discomfort of knowing you should do it, but you're not gonna. And every day, just feel through that. Let the calendar invite hit you in the nervous system, feel through it. And eventually, you will feel through those feelings, and you will get to a place where you actually want to show up and do this work. And so you just pick 2 to 12 of those actions, whatever comes to you, whatever feels like inspired action, and you block it out. You fill your day with the inspired actions that you can take. You do them daily. You feel through any discomfort that comes up when that calendar invite pops up on your phone. And this will lead to more clients, more confidence, and $10,000 or more each month if you continue to do it. But I don't want to. I know that's what some people are saying, and maybe it's because you feel confused. tune into your body right now as you think about having to time block your day out and actually do some stuff to grow your business. Do you have some resistance to that? Is it that you don't think that you'll be able to do it? Well, I do have some good news. You have two choices. So you're going to have the recording to this presentation. You can go back through that. You can reverse engineer everything in here. You can feel through all of that discomfort, and you can start to implement what you've learned today, and maybe you'll be successful with that, and that would be great. But likely it's going to require some trial and error, and you might be in the same place that you're in right now next year. So option 2 or B is that you can fast track your results, move through some of that emotional discomfort by joining a group of awakening entrepreneurs who are all dedicated to helping you get this figured out once and for all. You can finally find the financial freedom that you know must be possible for you. It's just eluded you thus far. If you're someone who recognizes that you're not good at showing up for yourself, you need this kind of support. And even if you are good at showing up for yourself, but you don't really know the actions that you should take, even after looking through some of the things that we've presented in this presentation, if you need a deeper dive on each of the things on this list, this program is about getting into the specifics of how to actually do all of this in a way that will feel joyful to you. So do you want to reverse engineer everything in this program? You're more than capable of doing that if you feel through everything and you actually put this into action. But if you're looking to make some friends, to have some support from people who have already done what you want to do, who can point out some of your blind spots and really put you on an expedited path, then this group is for you, and I want you to sign up. And right now you can do that for only $49. So if your soul's desire is that you want to help people with your gifts, but you don't know how to find clients ready to pay, I want you to join this group. If your soul's desire is that you want sales to feel easy and people to be over the moon to work with you, I'm going to show you how that's possible. If your soul's desire is you're here to raise the consciousness of the planet, but you seem to be at a plateau, I'm going to show you how to show up in a different way so that you can work through that. If your soul's desire is that you see other people doing what you do, and they're absolutely crushing it, and there's almost a tinge of jealousy because why are they living what you want to live? Why can't you do that? Your program would help at an even deeper level, but you just can't find the audience. Let's get you dialed in a way where you can start helping people in a bigger way. If your soul's desire is that if you just had the right formula and support for all the quote unquote business stuff, you could soar, this group is for you. So I want you to let me quickly show you what this group is all about and what it's going to support you in learning. So first, we're going to create your money dial process. So this is going to be part of the process that is going to give you the leverage you need to make more sales and engage with people in a deeper way. So your money dial process is you getting really clear on what your quick fire offer is. And with the right offer, you can start closing more deals and helping more people starting this week. We're going to show you how to go where your clients are and get an action plan together for finding the exact people that are ready to say yes to your offer. And then I'm going to teach you and the community managers and support in the group, plus the other entrepreneurs there, are going to show you how to become a sales missionary. Because I really do believe that salespeople have the opportunity. They come into contact with more people than most pastors do. And so salespeople really are the missionaries of our time, and they have such a beautiful opportunity to up-level the planet. And so I'm going to teach you how to create compelling content, provide value, and passionately pitch your product or service while holding space for someone. Sales are icky because most people are trying to invade somebody else's space. We're going to approach sales from an active listening perspective, where your sole mission on the call is how well can I hold space for the person on the other end. And then from that, we will create the environment where it's very easy to pitch your product. So some of the reasons that you're not bringing on new customers right now are that people don't trust your business yet. You need to niche down and be more specific. You're not highlighting fast enough results. You don't know your client's biggest frustrations and challenges, and so you're not speaking to them. Maybe your offer is too broad or generic, or you aren't showing how you save them time, money, or effort. You need a unique approach. Maybe you're too much like everybody else in the marketplace. You need to double the value offer, make sure that you're getting custom testimonials from everybody that you talk to, and then we want you to double your prices. And you're likely not bringing in new offers because you haven't validated your offer, and so you probably have a bad offer that isn't converting. And once you start to pitch yourself in a different way, you'll likely see that your conversion rate goes up, and you have a more joyous experience talking about what you do. So in the Awaken Entrepreneur Mastermind program, we're going to dial in a quick fire offer. And so the quick fire offer formula is attention, whoever your customer avatar or niche is, and then you're going to list the best result that you can get them in the next 30 days. You're going to highlight the unique mechanism for how you'll get them those results. You'll showcase why your service or product offering is different from other programs that they may have tried and failed at. And then you're going to anchor it in with some kind of a guarantee. So that quick fire offer could look something like this. Attention, metaphysically minded teachers. Okay, if I'm a teacher and I'm into metaphysical and spiritual things, and I see this on your website or in an ad or in a social media post, you better believe I'm going to read the rest of it. So attention, metaphysically minded teachers. What if I could teach you in less than 30 days how to incorporate loving metaphysical principles into your daily lesson plans using language that your administration will approve? Would you give me an hour a week to make that kind of impact? The future of our planet lives in the hearts and minds of our students. School curriculum is killing students' creative expression and spiritual connection. But Spirit has given us a way to seed loving concepts into every school lesson plan we teach while connecting students to purpose. Join a group of like-minded teachers and start making a meaningful spiritual impact in your community and school. If I'm a teacher that is metaphysically minded, this is a specific offer that is going to make me want to work with you right away. And so that's how you show up in the quickfire offer formula. And part of this group is we're going to help you dial that in so that you can really get an offer that's going to be solid for you. So it could be that approaching your warm list feels scary, and a big part of that is that maybe you haven't had an offer that works in the past. And so people just roll their eyes when you're speaking to them because you're not speaking to them in the right way. So in this group, we're going to teach you how to learn to make sales a natural step in helping others. Because remember, this sales process that we're teaching isn't about projecting your product or service onto another person. It's about holding space for them and being present with them and allowing that to open up a conversation where you can pitch the product if it's appropriate. Step one is holding space and providing value even if it's not your product. But when you hold the right space for someone, they're going to naturally want you to pitch them your services because they like being with you. You're going to learn how to simply and easily share your story and offer so that friends will refer people to you. You're going to learn how to collect and share your clients' wins. Remember, I told you I have that form that I send out. Anybody I have a phone conversation with gets that form asking for feedback and in a humble way asking for a testimonial. And then I can use those testimonials on my social media. You're going to learn how to break down your daily practice and share how your method works for you so others will want to learn from you. In this group, you're going to learn how to discover how to easily create one piece of content every day that provides massive value to your clients, like we showcased in the social media post module. And there's going to be group chat that's available anytime you feel stuck. So you can talk with me and the people on my team, and they're going to get you dialed in a way that where sales starts to feel natural for you. And if warm outreach feels scary for you, then cold outreach probably seems impossible. But we're going to show you how to pitch in a way where cold outreach feels like just holding space for another person and being resonating as a spiritual being and putting that vibe out there. And you'll learn how to build a cold local niche spreadsheet, how to cold friend request prospects, to find clients in Facebook groups, to use Facebook and Instagram ads to consistently attract new clients, to build your Dream 100 list of industry influencers and get them to invite you onto their blogs and podcasts, and to use LinkedIn Sales Navigator to always be able to find your next client. So that's a lot of stuff, and it's going to require you a little bit of a learning curve, but this group is going to hold the space for you to step into the actions that resonate with you the most. And remember, you don't have to do all of these. We need you to pick 2 to 12 of them that you can show up in every week and every day so that you can continue to grow your business. And selling is listening. Your sales calls are an opportunity for you to hold space for the person on the other line. That is the thing that you've got to remember about sales calls, and will allow you to move past some of your resistance. You may be the only person in the person that on the other line of your sales call, you may be the only person in their life that's willing to listen to them and willing to let them vent. And so we're going to teach active listening and how you can show up for people in this way, and why it's so valuable, and why holding space for someone builds affinity and is so impactful in their lives and in your sales process. Because you're not pitching. You're not trying to fix them. Your sole job on a sales call, in your coaching and consulting, when you're with your boyfriend or girlfriend, your husband, wife, any conversation that you're having, the step 1 is hold space, actively listen, don't try to fix them. And then once they're fully expressed and vented, once they've vented to you and seem to have kind of stopped or slowed down, you just simply ask, what kind of support are you looking for? And you let them tell you the support that they want. And if your product or service can provide that kind of support, you ask them to enroll in your product. And if your product or service can't offer them that support, then you get creative and you either invent a product or service offering on the spot that you'll be able to help them with, and that will offer the style of support that they're looking for, or you provide them with value and support for free, and you just hold the space for them. So I had an old coach, I think it was maybe Miles Beckler who said this to me. He had somebody who used to tell him when he was selling cars that when you tickle something over here, it may end up giggling over there. And the idea is that you're not going to sell everyone, but you can provide value to everyone. And when you provide value to anyone, it will create the energetic circumstances that allow that value to come back to you. And so you can tickle something here and it may end up giggling over there. And what you have to trust is that everything is connected. The energy of everything is connected. And so if you're consistently providing value, that value will come back to you. So to become a sales missionary is just going to require an hour a day. And that may seem daunting. And so again, you put this on your calendar. You don't have to show up to it every day, but you do have to feel through why you don't want to do it every day. So you don't have to actually make the calls, but you have to feel how uncomfortable it is thinking that you might have to make the calls. And if you do that long enough, you will get to the place where you don't have emotional resistance to doing this anymore. And you're going to shift in this 1 hour a day, you're going to shift from being a salesperson to being a spiritual consultant who is holding space. You're going to learn to ask questions and listen more than you talk. You're going to discover ways to provide free value on every call so people want to work with you and want to be in your life. You're going to use a concept called idea extraction and creative workshopping to make sure that you really understand what their biggest frustrations and pain points are so that you can specifically address them. And then I'm going to show you how I use screen shares in direct messages, emails, LinkedIn, Facebook, and more to make really impactful cold emails so that you can always be finding people. And you may be thinking, well, I don't have a product that I would send a cold email out to. But even if you're a massage therapist or a life coach or a psychic or a realtor, you have if you find the right pitch and you pitch it in a specific enough way and you provide enough detail that is specific to the prospect that you're reaching out to, cold outreach will work for you no matter what industry you're in. I'm going to teach you the art of cold calling and follow-up, and then all I want you to do is commit to calling or texting 5 people a day. 5 calls at 20 minutes a call, that's an hour. But maybe you don't call every day. Maybe you're just texting and you're only getting on a call with the people who respond to your spirit text message. Regardless, the support in the group is going to be there for you to get on a call, have it be terrible, come and say, oh, I just had a terrible call, this happened, and then we're going to be able to walk you through what you could have done better, provide you the support and motivation to get on your next call, and then slowly you're going to become really good at holding space for people in this way, and you will actually want to do cold calls because you recognize that it's part of the spiritual gift that you're offering people is being able to hold space in this way. But again, you've got to put, I'm going to do my 1 hour of cold calling or prospecting on your calendar. And then even if you don't show up because you don't want to, because it feels uncomfortable, that calendar invite will still ping you in the nervous system, and then you can have the experience of feeling through that discomfort, and eventually you will get to the place where you're emotionally ready to make these calls. So the key is that you've got to do something, and it almost doesn't matter what you do. You just have to give the universe something to work with. So you don't have to be making 200 calls a day, but you do have to grease the wheels of the reality engine a little bit. So maybe it's text messaging prospects, maybe it's doing something on Instagram, maybe it's going door to door, maybe it's going to some kind of an event or a fair. Reality renders on a probability wave. And so if you create enough room for miracle, this kind of idea that anything is possible, and you feel through your feelings and you align with your actions and you're in momentum, in motion, it's so much easier for reality to render around you in a new way if you're in motion. Because think about it. If somebody is sitting on the ground, with their legs crossed, and you try to get them to come to the door and they don't want to and they're just dead weight, it's hard to drag that person to the door. But if they were already walking towards the door and then you just give them a little push, they're going to move towards the door faster, and it doesn't require a whole lot of your effort. And that's what we want to give reality. We want to be in motion so that reality can then put wind in our sails and easily turn us in the direction that we need to go. You can bend the probability wave of reality and have it collapse in your favor, but it requires that you show up and do something. You can't just sit around and do nothing. Sometimes that works, but consistently being in joyous motion is going to net more consistent results for you. And again, you don't have to take all of these actions, but you do have to take enough that someone who otherwise wouldn't have seen you can now see you and be pulled into your ecosystem. So does that all sound too complicated? Well, that's why we have created an all-new support group for spiritually minded entrepreneurs. I've been talking about it this whole time. We're calling it Awaken Entrepreneur. We've got some great people in there already seeing results, and some great people that have offered to be mentors and part of the support team. And this is going to allow you to grow your business with the spiritual leverage that we're talking about and have like-hearted support. This is bespoke, and that means customized to you daily executive coaching. This is the hand-holding that you've been hoping for. this is the thing that's going to allow you to take all that spiritual energy that you have. You've got all this spiritual power. You just need to ground it into reality. This group will help you ground that spiritual power into reality so that you can make massive moves. It includes a daily chat, office hours with myself and my support team. You're going to have video support to dial in your offer, find your ideal clients, and start making predictable income every single month, starting this month. And finally, you can now manifest the success that you and your business were meant to be. So it's Awaken Entrepreneur. If you've tried other courses and couldn't get them to work, then this is the hand-holding that you're looking for. If sales has never felt comfortable for you, this course gives you the right emotional tools and guides you through the shadow work required to find confidence and ease in your sales process. And if business has felt lonely to you and you want to be a part of a spiritual group who supports each other's growth, well, then we'd love to have you. Here's what you're going to learn. You're going to clarify your soul's purpose and mission. You're going to discover your money blind spots and the shadow work that you need to do to heal from them for good. You're going to learn how to finally master conscious sales and marketing strategies. You're going to learn how to anchor your self-worth, value, and help more people while increasing your prices. You're going to dial in the perfect offer to attract your ideal clients and customers. You're going to learn why active listening is the best sales strategy, because if you can listen, you can sell. You're going to create massive time, money, and travel freedom, pairing practical steps with law of attraction-based emotional processing, and you're going to build, scale, and automate your business so that you can serve more people. So what happens each day in the group? Well, each morning, I send out a daily morning primer, audio or video. It's 6 minutes or less, and it's kind of a pep talk or an inspiration to start your day and to remind you about the highest leveraged actions that you can be taking. We're going to show you the action steps that you can take. We're going to give you access to 9 live chat support channels. These are subject-specific channels. I'll go into each subject in a bit. And those channels are designed for you to be able to ask questions and really understand what you should be doing in each moment of the day to move the needle in your business and to have a joyous experience in your business. Then there's going to be daily office hours for custom support. So this is an hour a day where I show up either in Clubhouse or Zoom, and you guys get to drop in and ask me anything. And we can dial in all the specifics to get you out of frustration, out of stagnation, and into momentum. You're going to get unlimited chat access to me and my consulting team to make sure that you know what to do. And then you're going to earn an ROI on your monthly investment each month, or we'll refund your money. So if you don't learn how to make at least enough money or more than your monthly investment, then I will refund the month back, because I want this to be something that accelerates your business like no other program. And I'm interested in creating a group frequency of abundance. And so if you're just not resonating with the content and the actions that we're asking you to take and the emotional work that we're asking you to take just isn't making sense for you, and you're not making more than your monthly investment, then I will refund that month's investment to you, no questions asked. But in the group, the way that we're going to prevent you from being a dropout and make this finally a success for you is providing this daily chat support. So each of the support channels is going to be a Telegram channel where you can ask whatever questions that you want. You can talk to other people in the group. You're going to talk to my consulting team as well. We're going to answer and give you the feedback that you need. And these channels are going to be specific to challenges that you might be having. So one's going to be the daily announcements channel. You can set that so that the notifications are on so that you get that every day and you can see the most important announcements from me. And then everything else, you can turn the notifications off and just drop in there whenever you have a specific question. So there's going to be a general community support to just ask any random question. There's a copywriting email support. That's where you can get dialed in on your offer. Sales prospecting and cold calls. So as you're cold calling and on sales calls, you can tell us how your experience went and we can respond back on things that maybe you could improve on or congratulate you on your wins. Just any frustrations, challenges, and venting. This is where, if you're having a bad day, this is the place to vent that out and have somebody listen to you. Practical marketing and consulting is a chat channel to dial those things in. Break a sweat accountability, something that we haven't talked much about, but we do want this to be a mind, body, spirit, mind, body, soul experience. And so if you're interested in having some accountability to show up and work out every day, this is for people that want to be held accountable and want to break that sweat and get, at least 30 minutes of workout in every day. The group's going to hold you accountable. You don't have to be a part of that group, but it's there if you want it. Custom video requests is if you have something that you think is a question that more than just you in the group have, you can ask that question in a custom video request, and I will build out course content that specifically addresses that so that everybody can benefit from your question. And so if you have a lot of questions, you might be a really valuable member in the group, because your questions, if you have a question, it usually means 10 other people have it as well. And so your questions can make this group better, and everybody's questions do. Then we've got a chat channel where you can share your goals and wins so that we can anchor in that frequency of abundance and celebrate all of your spiritually leveraged work, your inspired action. And then finally, spiritual mindset law of attraction is for you to say, hey, this is happening in my life right now. Like, what am I missing in my law of attraction? What is that pointing to? Why am I attracting this? Here's a spiritual thing, a question that I have. Here's something, about my meditation practice that I'm curious about. This can be really helpful in you gaining the awareness that you need to massively accelerate how you work with the law of attraction. So I just went through all this, so I won't do it again, but the daily announcements make sure you know what you need to do each day to be successful, motivate you into actually doing what you should do, highlight new discoveries and techniques that will multiply your success and results, make sure you're reaching out to prospects and clients with the right attitude, and make sure you're doing the spiritual work that will magnify your results. So that chat channel for that type of consulting, I would normally charge $1,000 a month if it was one-on-one, but it's included in the group because you're a part of the group, and it's a one-to-many type thing in the chat. So I wanted to share this testimonial with you. This is from Charlotte. She says, Jon is charismatic, kind, patient, and easy to work with. He's gifted at connecting with others and bringing to life creative projects in a way that makes everyone shine and showcases what they want to bring to the world. His calm energy and hard work facilitate magic. I want you to be one of these testimonials. And so in each of these chat groups, we're helping you become the entrepreneur, the freelancer, the spiritual warrior, the masterful being that you want to be. So in general community support, you're going to know you're not in this alone. You're going to get support from other people who are going through the same things. You get to feel the pride of contributing to others who need your support. So that's a big part of this too, is you get to support others. You're going to connect with and make new lifelong friends that are all like-hearted and going through a similar experience of building a business. So that kind of community support and connection, I value that at $500 a month. If we were having to facilitate that, in some kind of a group therapy type thing, you get that as part of your subscription in the group. And remember, all of this is because I want you to be a testimonial like this one from Hefe. Jon is a champion of the creative spirit. He brought an incredible enthusiasm and positive energy to our team that helped fuel a successful Kickstarter campaign and TV pilot production. Every project needs a guy like Jon Ray. He was not only our guardian angel, he was our greatest cheerleader. I want to provide that level of support from you, and now you get to have a spiritual business consultant in your pocket. So if you have copywriting and email needs, this chat group, you're going to get feedback on who your target niche should be and what they want and need to hear. You're going to be able to quickly dial in your product service offering, and you're going to be able to post your spirit emails and texts and get feedback from our professional copywriting team on how that should look. So this type of copywriting email support, we're valuing that at $1,500 a month, because one-on-one to meet with a solid copywriter, it costs money. So Shailan here says John was a great listener. He took the organic way I described our firm and turned it into a cohesive unit that had form, continuity, conclusion, and a call to action that felt right and read authentic to the pulse of our business. I didn't feel like I was being put into one of their molds. It became obvious that John created our copy to reflect who we really are. And that's what these chat channels are for. This is bespoke daily coaching. It's customized to you through these chat channels. Next, when you're doing your sales prospecting and cold calling, I want you to share what happens on each of your calls and get professional feedback on how you could have pitched better so that you get better on each call. You're going to be able to dial in your sales process in a way that feels natural to you. You're going to learn questions, phrases, and ideas that help you to connect deeply with each prospect and hold more space for them. And you're going to learn how to provide an incredible amount of value on every single call, text, and email. If you were going to do this as part of my one-to-one sales coaching program, it'd be $1,500 a month. This is included in the program. Remember, I want you to be my best testimonial. So Christine says, John is truly a unicorn. Not only is he a creative and editorial genius, he is also amazing to work with. I know I can count on his expertise to capture my vision and totally trust his creative direction. His communication and ability to incorporate feedback is extraordinary. Do you see how valuable sending out a feedback form to everybody that you have a call with can be? That's how I got all these testimonials. I have a call with somebody, they join one of my programs, they hire me as a consultant. Every single month, I'm sending them a feedback form, which you're going to get in this group, that in a very humble way asks them for feedback, what I could be doing better, and then ask them for a testimonial. And 9 out of 10 people end up writing me a testimonial, and then I get to pepper that through all my sales presentations. The next chat channel, you get to vent the anger, frustration, confusion out of your body and into a productive place for exploration. You're going to get unstuck as soon as you feel blocked, learn to identify why certain events and scenarios are showing up in your life, and you'll get real-time support when things go wrong or haywire. This is so valuable because business is relationships, and relationships are emotional connections. And when you dial in the emotional and creative passion that you have for life, you start to win. So Megan says, John is an extremely talented marketer. He is incredibly in tune with his artistic abilities and uses those skills combined with his marketing background to create content that captures attention and drives purchases. We would work with John again any day. You get access. I charge $5,000 or $10,000 a month as a consultant for businesses that are ready to do, hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales every single month. And you get access to that brain trust and to my team that supports me in these chat channels. This is one of the best ways that you can up-level your business and get customized content to you specifically. So practical and marketing, this is going to be where you learn the latest and greatest marketing techniques, the things that are working really well for me, and the things that I think are going to supercharge your business, because marketing techniques change all the time. There's always something shiny and new. We want you to dial in something that is right for you, that is joyous for you. And so I'm going to always be throwing out ideas, and this gives you something that you can respond to with your energy, and you'll know if it's the right thing for you by how you feel. You're going to improve your daily toolkit of ways to provide value to prospects and customers. You're going to get consistent ideas for when and where to pivot in your business, and you're going to get practical feedback on your product, services, website, or anything else in your business. That practical consulting for in a group setting, normally $1,000 a month, but of course it's included in this program through these chat channels. And again, this is about you finding joy in your day-to-day and in your business and getting real-time feedback so that you can pivot quickly and find the things that are going to work faster. So Misty says, John's ability to connect the dots within a problem, quickly come up with a suggestion solution, and follow up with appropriate questions made working with him approachable and fluid. That's what these chat channels are going to be for you. The Break a Sweat Accountability channel is going to give you the support and motivation you need to break a sweat every day, improve workout consistency by having a group that holds you accountable for showing up, and learn new ways to get the physical results you want faster with more ease. This group has already been crazy impactful. I haven't always wanted to show up every single day, but because this group is here, I show up, I get my 30 minutes of breaking a sweat in, and we're also posting healthy eating tips and things that are allowing us to stay on track and to stay at the weight that we want to be at, to get at the weight that we want to be at, to have more energy, to be more present. You know, our bodies are such a big component. They're the vehicle that our spirit is moving around in, and we want to make sure that our vehicle has strong maintenance, an oil change from time to time, and that we have the mechanics, motivation, and support to make sure we make it around the track enough times to win. Charles says, Jon is clearly tapped into something that is equal parts rare and brilliant. I have found his approach to up-leveling and his guidance on the exact steps for doing so to be incredibly insightful and helpful. I feel extraordinarily grateful to have had the opportunity to work together. I want you to be one of these success stories, and joining the group, I've made it super cost effective. You know, $49. I'm going to show you how you can get in right now. It's crazy. And then you can come in here and tell me the exact problem that you're having, and I'll make you a custom video. So don't understand something or feel like you need more hand holding, ask the question in this chat. I'll make a video on it. Your question helps everybody else in the group. You're going to be able to request custom videos to dial in the clarity you need to succeed, and each video request benefits the entire group because everyone gets access to the video. That's powerful, and that creates this frequency of abundance where everybody's up-leveling together. Tori says, Jon is talented, hardworking, and easy to get along with. Our website visibility has skyrocketed, and that's thanks to him. Plus, I think we're putting out some great content for people to enjoy. The videos Jon made for us were truly high quality, which is so satisfying, given that we really care about the message we are getting out. Jon helped us bring forward that message by making us feel safe and engaged. This group is about us supporting one another and you having people that will become your friends that you can share your wins with. This chat channel is about staying motivated and inspired by seeing when everyone wins and how everyone in the group is winning. You're going to feel pride in your own work and inspire others with your wins. And you're going to anchor in the frequency of winning and abundance and then attract more of it. So Yasim says, Jon is amazing at helping you optimize your offer and message in a clear and convincing way. And that's what I want this to be. It is a no-brainer where you come in, you get exactly what you need specific to where the unique challenges you have, and you walk away with a deeper understanding of how life is this beautiful spiritual process, and it's constantly giving us information that shows us exactly what the next step should be. So in the spiritual mindset law of attraction chat, you're going to get the daily support to interpret the events in your life through a spiritual or metaphysical lens. You're going to get immediate feedback on why you're attracting certain events and people and how to shift your vibration. You're going to learn new practices and techniques for finding regular peace, clarity, creative sovereignty, and flow. And then we're going to teach these techniques to your clients, friends, and family and create a powerful ripple effect that up-levels the whole planet. And that up-leveling is what we're going for. I want every interaction that I have with someone to be an up-leveling. Sandy says, in one short hour, Jon helped me realize that I was overlooking a part of my business that will set me apart from all my competition, my unique life experience. He helped remind me that the real me is what sets me apart, and I should capitalize on that, not hide it away trying to recreate what's already been done. His creativity is contagious. So that open office hours, that contagious creativity is coming at you because 1 hour each day, Monday through Friday, you get to come in and get personalized coaching and consulting from me. You're going to learn from others in the group. Someone else may ask a question you didn't even know you should be asking, and then I'll answer that question, and you'll know what you should do in your business, and you won't feel confused or stuck anymore. And then you're always going to have a place to go when you don't know what your next step should be. So if you add all that up, that's over $10,000 in total monthly value. And that's if we're just going on what I've charged as a consultant for those services. We're not even looking at the amount of money you'll be able to create for the rest of your life with the techniques you'll learn. And you will learn how to make $10,000 every month if you're consistent and show up in this group every single day. It may not happen in month one, but it might. It definitely has before, and you might be the next person to nail this thing and ground your spiritual energy that's already available, put it into this 3D environment, connect those realms, and blast off beyond the moon. But don't think, what am I trying to say here? But don't think you could make more. Oh, bear with me here while I read my own handwriting. So you may not make the $10,000 in month one. Okay, maybe there's an exponential curve to this where you slowly start to improve, and then there's a hockey stick that happens. But don't you think you could make more money than you are right now if you had all of these support systems available to you? Because if nothing else, you can say, hey, I'm not making any money. What gives? And I can come in and look at your business and say, you know what? Why don't you try this? And you can immediately get access to actions that are going to up-level you. And just so you can see that I am a spiritual business consultant who knows what he's talking about, this is a 3D way to sell something, but I know for some people it's important to know that I'm actually making the money that I'm saying, and that I'm charging the money that I'm talking about. And so these are clients of mine, who have paid me $10,000, $11,500, $10,000, $5,041, $10,159, $5,728, $10,290, $2,500, $7,700, $10,000. You get access to a $10,000 a month business consultant by being a part of these chat groups. And the reason that I am pivoting towards this is because this allows me to better leverage my time to help more people. I'm at a point where I provide a ton of value to my clients, and it's why I can charge $10,000 a month. But when I'm doing one-on-one consulting, I only have so much time in a month. I can only work with so many of those clients, and I want to help more people and create a ripple effect and a group vortex of abundance. And so that's why I want to teach you how I've been able to personally make and help clients make $10,000 to $30,000 or more every single month. And this group is about us calling in that opportunity and being that vibration. So what could you achieve with a $10,000 a month spiritual business consultant in your pocket? Because that's what you're getting. All the frustrations, loneliness, confusion, wrong decisions, guesswork, and stagnation will be gone. You'll know exactly what you should be doing each day, and the value you provide to each client will go through the roof. So remember, you're getting access to all of these chat groups. That's over $10,000 a month in consulting support through the Telegram chat channel. But of course, that's not the whole story, because it wouldn't be a sales presentation if I didn't have some bonus items to throw at you. I want you to succeed in this. I want this to be fun. I want us to create a vibrational vortex of abundance. And so that's why if you sign up right now, I'm going to give you a 30-minute kickoff call. These calls, because my schedule is jam-packed, when somebody wants to consult with me one-on-one for business consulting, it's a $500 charge. So you get a 30-minute call with me, $500. So get clear on this 30-minute call. I want to make sure I'm in integrity. The 30-minute call is $250. I put $500 because I'm about to give you a special bonus beyond this. So wait for it. On this call, we're going to get clear on the topic, the top actions you can take to start making money and helping more people this week. We're going to make sure you have a clear plan for finding success over the next 90 days. We're going to ask the specific questions and finally get you the clarity around your business that you've been waiting for. Bonus number 2. You're going to get the prosperity workbook. This is the processes that I go through. All my $10,000 clients go through this worksheet so that we can get really clear on how we can dial in their offers. These are going to be specific quick start questions to help you see your own blind spots and clear anything holding you back from making more money. You're going to identify your target audience and ideal customer avatar, and these are going to be easy questions that help you write an offer that your customer won't be able to resist. $500 value there, because really, you fill out this workbook, it's going to give you so much specific information that you can use in your sales and your conversations, that just in your natural day-to-day process that you already have, you're going to start selling more. Then I'm going to throw in my anger handling workbook. So you're going to learn how to be able to feel through and transmute your anger back into creative potential. And anger is one of the most bypassed emotions in the spiritual community, because we push out of our anger and push it away. We think that anger is bad and it's not spiritual. And so we don't allow ourselves to experience it. And so there's so much locked up creative potential in our anger. And this workbook allows you to unlock all of that creative potential so that you can call in bigger experiences. It's going to allow you to easily overcome frustration and find your flow quickly. And then you're going to discover how to find the language around your frustration and channel it productively. Then I'm going to offer, this is insane. I'm going to offer you a monthly lifeline call. So if you start to feel frustrated or overwhelmed in the program, for these people who are in the early adopter group, I want you to reach out to me personally, and I will just help you immediately. If the chat group isn't working for you, if you just need to talk to somebody and we need to figure it out, I'm going to give you my personal phone number, and you can call me in times of distress to get one-on-one support. That is you can't fail with that in your pocket. So that lifeline once a month, give me a call if you need it. If the chat groups aren't the support that you're looking for, let's get on a call and figure it out. I don't ever want you to feel alone in your business, and knowing you've got a spiritual business consultant in your back pocket is going to give you the confidence that you need to really start to skyrocket and expand in a joyous way. And so for only the people that are signing up in this early adopter window, you're going to get these bonuses. It's the 30-minute kickoff call, the Prosperity Quick Start Workbook, the Anger Handling Workbook, and that monthly Lifeline call. But of course, I'm going to add in some more. That's an extra $2,000 in bonuses. So if you are interested in getting all of those bonuses, I want you to sign up now. The rate that we're going to be launching at is $297 a month. You can get the entire 12-month program for $3,000, which saves you $600. You get 2 months free. You can go to awaken-entrepreneur.com to set that up. But the early adopter window is open right now. And it is clear because we have emotionally processed all the mud out of the way. And this is only available to our Awaken Beta Club members, which could be you if you join today. In order to be an Awaken Beta Club member, though, you have to be willing to give a testimonial about your success. And this is for a limited time only. So if you're willing to give that testimonial about the success that you see in the program and you're willing to sign up today, I want you to try the program for the next 14 days for only $49. See if it's going to work for you. This is almost zero risk. It's zero risk because in 14 days, if you didn't get any value out of it, I'll give you the $49 back. And then by taking the action to join for the 14-day, 49-day trial, or $49 trial, instead of the $297 a month, which is what it's going to be for everybody else. And as soon as we have, a group that I feel is all seeing success, at that $10,000 level, we're going to change the month to $1,000 a month, because then we're really going to start to accelerate where everybody, is aiming for even bigger numbers. So this very soon is going to go to $297. In the next year or so, it's going to go to $1,000. If you join right now and do the 14 days for $49, each month beyond that, no contract, it's going to be month to month, and it's only $250 a month. You get everything that I've covered, all the support that you need to be successful for $250 a month. Are you kidding? I wish I had this 20 years ago when I first started out in business. And we are going to double your kickoff call. So if you sign up today, I'll double your kickoff call from 30 minutes to an hour. That's why I put in that $500 there, because that 1 hour call would cost you $500 if you were just a regular one-on-one business consultant. But again, I want to make this group a vortex frequency of abundance that ripples out into the world. And so that's why I'm giving you such an incredible offer. I want you to really explore some of your biggest pain points, and then I want to help find relief for you. And we're going to get rid of any doubt that you have, any resistance that you have, any of the second guessing that you have on this kickoff call, so that you can move forward with confidence. So that's over $2,500 in bonuses, plus the $10,000 a month in value that we're providing in the chat channels and content. So what is the Awakened Guarantee? Well, I know that this is a big investment of time and money, so I want to make sure that we do this right. So for the next 14 days, or for basically it's a 14-day money back guarantee. You sign up, and if after your first 14 days in the Awaken Entrepreneur Mastermind you don't see a clear way to grow your business and add more revenue, I will give you a full refund, no questions asked. Just ask for it, and I'm going to give you the refund. And you know, this may not be for everybody. You may be in a place where you know, have some of your own exploring to do, and that's okay if the group isn't for you. But for most people, this is going to be incredibly impactful. And for $49, you can find out if you're going to be one of those people who is the next testimonial. You've never had a better chance to align with your business in a way that combines your spiritual power that you already have with practical actions that are going to ground that power in reality. So I really appreciate you being on this program with me today. I'm so looking forward to jumping on a call with you. And if you are ready to get started and up-level your business, to connect into that spiritual power and ground it in a meaningful, impactful way that ripples out into the world, I want you to go to awaken-entrepreneur.com or click the button below. Get started for that 14-day free trial. The next 14 days, only $49. After that, it's only $250 a month. This is a no-brainer if you're ready to up-level your business. So I am so humbled that you are willing to trust me and my process. This has been so impactful for me and so many of my clients, and I'm very much looking forward to having you create with this process anything that you want and up-level your life in so many ways. And it's going to be fun. Like we're going to talk about business, but we're going to talk about spiritual things. We're going to talk about, you know, all the wacky stuff that's happening in reality and how we can show up as a power center in the middle of all of that. And we're going to make lifelong friends. So I want to be your friend. I want to be your mentor. I want to be a consultant to you, and I want to help your business get to the place where you can have the lifestyle that you and your family and your community and your friends should be experiencing. And then you're going to be able to help all of them in a much bigger way. So again, I'm humbled, and for me that means that I'm feeling all of the deep appreciation and gratitude that I have for you being in consideration of this program and lending me your trust to help you grow your business. So if you have any questions, reach out, ask those, get started with the 14-day trial. I promise you that I will help you grow your business. Thank you.